Hello, dear. Am I audible? So fine, guys. I think I'm audible, right? Okay, so let's start with the class then. Yes, it will. Okay, someone is saying that when big data is going to start, so it is going to start. I think it has. We have already published. You can go and check website. So I think it's available. Red Bull gives you wings sometime. It's required. Okay, fine. Let's start, guys. So, guys, I think last time we were talking about, right, like, let me close. Yeah. So, last time I was talking about API, right? And I think we all have a basic understanding of API, that what is API, and then how we can try to communicate in between two applications. So last time we have used Postman, and via Postman, so we were trying to perform this kind of operations, and we have seen that yes, I can try to access my Python program. So any Python method, any Python program that we have written, so we can try to access all of those Python program in the easiest possible way with the help of APIs, and I will be able to perform my task, right? This is what I think we have discussed. Now today again, it will be extension of same lecture, and I will be telling you like how with the help of URL you will be able to send a request, you will be able to see a response, and all sort of things. Again, I'll talk about debugging inside a PyCharm, how you can do a server side debugging, client side debugging, all those things in my today's class, right? So someone is saying that what is REST API? So I think you should watch like a last class recording, last Sunday's recording. So I have already explained all of those things theoretically, and we have started with the practical things. Okay. So let's try to like a start. Could you show us access via the Swagger API? Swagger is one of the just like a application, so it's fine. I can show you sometime. That is not an issue at all. First of all, let's try to like complete this one. When you will start Django? So let's start everything now itself in parallel, like in like multiple screen. I can do that. I don't have an issue. The thing is like whether you will be able to get it or not. Okay, so let's try to like start with the API. Same thing. It's not like we are starting for the first time. I think we have already started in last class itself. We have seen some of the small applications. We have already executed those applications in our system, and it will be extension of same thing, right? So last time what we have done, so we were using a PyCharm and we were using a Postman. So whatever code that we have written inside a PyCharm, so we were trying to access all of those code via like a Postman, right? So through Postman, so we were trying to execute our Python program, which was a backend program. And yes, we were able to get a response inside our Postman itself. We were sending a JSON data, and through which we were able to access it. Now, so today again, I will try to show you first of all how through an URL you will be able to access these things. So I told you, right? So it is possible to send a request even through your browser, even through your URL, and you will be able to see a response. Plus, I will be talking about like how through a web pages you will be able to perform a same thing. And again, if time allows, so I'll try to start with the Django. So first of all, what is Django? Its overview, installation, setup, and if time allows, then we can get into a application part. But before that, so I have a plan to give you some tasks as well, so we will try to complete those things. So fine, guys, just a recap. We were trying to talk about API, nothing much. And API is a very easy things. If we are trying to implement these things with the help of Flask, we can just try to create a route, and we can try to create a URL for that, and it will be able to hit a particular method. I will be able to execute it. And I think this is the code that we have already executed. Apart from this code, so there were like many other code that we have already executed. I'm assuming that you all have executed in your system as well, right? So can I get confirmation? Yes. First, you are going to teach Flask or Django. See, the thing is, I think you have not watched a previous class recording, and then you have joined this class, right? Because in last class, which was a Sunday's class, right? Just last Sunday, I talked about Flask. I've already started Flask. So it will be extension of that classes. And yes, if you have not attended that particular class, so I think you will not be able to understand anything in today's class. So my request to you will be to go ahead with the previous classes, and then you can start from here. Otherwise, today's class, it's completely depends upon the previous class. Simple. It's completely dependent. Okay. So here, we have discussed about these things. Now what I'm going to do is, so I'm going to create a one more URL. Let's suppose if here, so I have to perform one simple operation. So this time I don't want to hit, right? So this one time I don't want to hit my Python program, or maybe you can say my Python like a method, right? With the help of maybe a postman. So this time what I want is, so I would like to send a request, or I would like to access my method or my Python functions with the help of maybe like a URL, right? A browser URL. So in that case, how it is going to work, how we are going to perform these kind of application. Let's try to understand. It's a very easy. It's very simple, very easy if we understand Flask, and if you have already attended our previous session, right? Okay. So here you will be able to find out that simple app.route we are trying to create. I think even in last application, so we were doing the same thing, app.route. And I think we all know what is the meaning of app and what is the meaning of a route. So it is trying to read out my entire like application. It is trying to help me out to call a particular method which I have appended just below this particular route. So just below this annotation. So whatever method I have appended, it will try to call that one for with respect to this URL. So I can try to give this URL name as anything, right? So maybe I can try to name these things as SUDHFUN So this is the URL which I have created. And inside that, so I'm trying to do what? So I'm trying to perform maybe I have written one particular method. So URL underscore test one. And then I'm trying to get a values, because for sure through a browser, when you are going to send a request, last time I have shown you a Google search. So when you do a Google search, what it does, so it will try to append your query to a browser URL, right? And then it will try to search inside its like a complete like a databases, and then it will try to give you some sort of a pages, all the request it will try to fulfill as a response here. So what we are expecting is that we will try to send some data from a URL, right? Through a URL, we are going to send some data, and then it will try to do something with respect to that data, and then it will send this data back to my URL, right? So let's suppose I'm looking for some addition operation, multiplication operation, or maybe some sort of a summation operation, right? These kind of operations which I'm looking for. So maybe I can try to write over here that request.args.get. Last time what we were writing, so last time request.json, because in form of a JSON, we were trying to pass our data, right? Last time. But this time we are trying to pass a string via URL, right? So we are trying to write and this is basically a get operation that we are trying to perform. So request.args.get. So it will try to take a request, means browser will send a request to this particular program, right? And it will try to get, this particular program will try to get what at this particular URL. So the underscore FUNCTION. So it will try to get this value one, and it will try to get a value two, right? And let's suppose I'm trying to perform, maybe I'm going to create another variable called as test3, and test3 is nothing but, let's suppose it is a summation of test1 and test2, right? So this is the summation of test 1 and test 2. So what I can do is, maybe I can try to return this value to my which one. So maybe I can try to return this particular value to a browser itself. So let's suppose the final result I would like to print into a console. In that case, I don't have to write anything, just return, and it will try to return everything into a Python console. But no, if I'm trying to hit something through a browser, so maybe I would like to see some sort of a result, right, inside a browser itself, for sure, right? So again, if I have to print something into a browser, so there are so many tags you will be able to find out. HTML tags you will be able to find out, like a body tag, HTML tag itself, which will be the header tag again. So inside that you can try to create a table tag or whatever, in whatever way you would like to showcase a data. So you can showcase a data, that is not a concern at all, right? So here what I can do is, so I'm just trying to create my headings. Again, H1 to H6, you will be able to find out the headings inside HTML. Again, you're not supposed to know about the HTML, because that HTML work will be done by your like a full stack, or you can say front end developer, right? UI UX developer. So they will try to like do this kind of a thing. They will try to beautify it. My work will be to send this data to them, or maybe they can tell me that, okay, fine, so how I'm supposed to send the data, they will try to capture it over there. So here, what I'm trying to do is, so test one plus test two is equal to test three, and this is just like a print statement. So we try to write a print format, and then we try to pass a data. So here, what we are trying to do is, so we are trying to send back this data to my browser. So it will try to return all of those things in a browser itself. This is something that we are trying to do after doing this addition operation. So let me execute these things. So run app. So once my app will be up and running, and my app is running at this particular URL, right? This is the base URL. I have localhost and colon 5000, which is a port number. So this is a localhost port number that I have. So maybe if I can hit this particular URL, right, along with this URL, so maybe I will be able to see some sort of a result. So let's try to hit this one, and I'll just go to my browser, and let's suppose this is my URL. If I'm going to hit this URL slash sudh underscore function, right? So again, it is telling me that internal server error. There must be some issue, right? So there must be some issue, and because of that, so it is telling me internal server error. Now let's try to check why I'm receiving this error. So here, with the help of this URL, it is able to reach out to this function, right? It is able to reach out to this particular function. But the problem over here is, right? So the problem over here is I'm trying to like get this data, value one and value two. And if you will look into my URL, so I'm not providing value one and value two, right? And because of that, it is telling me that internal server error. So the server encountered an internal error, was unable to complete your request. Maybe I'm not sending a data, because of that it is not able to complete my request. Either the server is overloaded, or is there any error in application. And if you will check error over here, right? So it is telling me that unsupported operand type for none type and none type. So test one and test two. So whatever we are getting over here, so basically like I'm not able to get this its values. That is the reason. So I'm getting this particular error. If I'll send this value from my URL, because URL is trying to execute this particular function. So if I'll send this value one and value two, in that way, yes, maybe it will be able to execute itself. It will not get a none type, because as of now it is getting what, a none type, right? So none type for like this test one and test two variable that I've created. So it is not getting any values over here for test one and test two. So it is like failing in this particular place. It will, if it will fail over here, so for sure I will not be able to get some sort of a responses, right? So I have to resolve this issue. So what I can do, so I have to send a data. So how I will be able to send a data? So if I have to send a data to this URL, so I'll try to do question, I'll try to give question mark, right? Now after question mark, what so means after question mark, this is the notation again. So if I'm sending a data through a browser, same notation you will be able to find out even in Google search. So after google.com, you will be able to find out like a question mark queries, and then it will try to receive a data. Last time I think I have already shown you, right, in my Sundays class. So here, what I can do is, so I can try to send a data. So if I have to start sending my data, so I can try to give a question mark. I can try to give a value one is equal to maybe four possible, right? And I can try to give, right, value 2 is equal to 6. Let's suppose these are the value which I am trying to send, right? These are the two values which I am supposed to send. Now if you will try to see, right, I'm getting some output. Yes, I'm able to get some output. I was expecting a summation operation, but you are able to see that it's doing some sort of a concatenation operation, right? So whenever you are sending this data from here, so it will try to take this data as a string, right? So if you will try to check over here, so this test one and test two data set is actually a string type. And I think we all know, if I have to convert a string into an integer, easily I will be able to convert it, right? And now you must be able to see a 200 means, so yes, it's a good request. So it's not giving me 404 or 500 internal server error or 404 page not found kind of a issue. So now I'm like quite happy. So it's able to execute this particular things. If I have to do maybe a addition operation, so what I can do is I can try to maybe convert these things or typecast these things into an integer format, and in this way I can try to perform a summation operation. I will be able to get a summation of the data. So restart, run app again, and then try to hit again. Now this time, so 6 plus 4 is equal to 10. I'm able to see, right? I'm able to see over here. So whatever data that we are able to print in this HTML, so it's just because of this particular tag. We are just trying to return this a string that, okay, fine. So take this string, and here is a placeholder, or you can say like open and close curly braces that we have given, and we are trying to provide arguments over here, so that in a runtime, so it will try to replace this curly braces with our test3. Test3 is nothing but it's a summation of test1 and test2. So in a very, very simple way, we are able to send a data from a URL to our Python program, and then we are able to send back a response to our web browser. Easy, right, everyone? Yeah. So it's very easy. It's like a, yeah, but it will be exposed to the user. That's the reason. So I am talking about both, right? Get and post. So that is the reason. So I'm going to talk about both the situation. So you can try to utilize it, depends upon your need. So for sure, whatever data which I'm trying to send, so it will be visible to the user. That is true, right? So if there is a data security issue, so in that case, I'm supposed to send a post request, and if there is no issue, in that case, I'm supposed to send a get request, right? So here we are able to execute all of these things, but sometimes I feel I have to learn front end as well. No, I don't think so. You don't have to learn HTML at all, because this work will not be done by you in any circumstances. So this is a work which will be done by UI UX developer. You're just supposed to know that, okay, fine. So how things happens, because when we will try to learn our machine learning or maybe deep learning, computer vision, NLP, so everywhere we will try to learn applications level as well. So a complete end-to-end application. And for sure, when we are talking about applications, so it simply means that it should be like get called by some other application. So for sure, API will come in between, and again at the time of hosting, so when we'll try to host our application over the cloud, AWS, Azure, GCP, or Heroku, so even at that point of a time, we'll be doing the same thing, so that I will be able to see the URL. Through URL, I will be able to communicate in a easiest possible way, and my application will be available over the cloud. Yeah. Can you teach us API integration? So what I'm teaching then? I mean, like people are talking about some unnecessary. People are asking some unnecessary questions. I think you should not ask, and before asking, at least you should think that what you are asking. Okay, so here uh, now we are entering the data through URL because there is no UI available for this function. Yes, you can say that even if there is a UI which is available, we can try to enter data through a URL. That is completely fine. There is no issue at all. So we can try to create an application by which I will be able to send a data through a URL or through anything. Yeah. So simple, right? Shall I ping you a code, or you guys are going to type it? I'll just give you like a 2 to 3 minutes. It will be better if you can type it. You will make a mistake, and then you will try to debug it. This is what I want. This is not a big thing, right? We all know root, then we all know how to create a function, then like create a variable, get a data, get a request, send it. It's very simple, right? So I'm just giving you a time. I want you to type this particular things. Yeah, then just do it, guys. Everyone, quickly. By default, app.route is a get method. Yes, that's true. Done. I think it should not take more than 30 seconds of time. It's not like very heavy things, complex things I'm talking about after having discussions in my last classes. Right. It's very easy things which I'm trying to discuss. This we can do in a Postman as we did last time. Yes, you can do these things in a Postman. So Postman provides you both the flexibility, but you will not be able to get a feel. Right. I can show you this thing, same thing, like same URL. You have to pay, copy, and then select a get method, post it. You will be able to get a response, but you will not be able to get a feel that, okay, fine. So I'm trying to hit my method or my functions through a URL. So that is the reason I'm showing you through a URL itself. A Postman is just a tool, right? So both is fine. Why we were justify the result in a first place. So it depends, like what kind of a output I'm looking for, right? So if I'll ask you, okay, fine, so like in your like a list or in your function classes, if I'll ask you that, okay, just try to return me a list or just try to return a dictionary, so for sure you will return a dictionary or a list, right? So depends upon my need. So same thing goes over here. So depends upon my need, so I can try to return these things into HTML, maybe into a console, maybe into some JSON object, anywhere, like I can try to return. So there is no issue with that. Okay, now so my result is 10 done, right? Most of you. 405 error. So you are making some sort of a mistake for sure, maybe with respect to a URL that you have shown. Please show your browser. Okay, please show your Chrome. It's very easy, guys. See, this is the URL. I think we all are aware about it, right? And after that, question mark means after question mark simply means that after this you are going to pass your values, right, from a browser, from this particular browser to your code. You are trying to pass a value. So simple. Everywhere it's the same logic. It's not like you are going to learn something over here and then you will end up implementing something else. No, everywhere it's exact same. It's a product kind of a procedure we used to follow. So question mark, and after that, if I have a multiple value, so value one, then two, then three. So just try to use this like ampersand symbol. So with that, you can try to append the values. It will be able to read out. It will be able to parse it automatically. For post also, we can test in a browser. You can test in a browser. I'll show you, but not in this way. You can't send a data through a URL. Okay, again, people are saying show your code once. So I'll just wait for another 2 minutes, right? And then I'll ping this code for a person who are not able to do it, so that you can do it. It's very easy. Just it's a logical one. What we have done, nothing, right? So just created two variable, doing some sort of addition, and then I'm just trying to hit these things. Which all plugins you are using in a PyCharm? Have I told you that I'm using some plugins when I said no? So it's very simple, right? I'm not using any plugins in my PyCharm. It's just same PyCharm that you have downloaded. What is a request arg? So it is trying to take the request from your browser. For more detail, please try to follow previous class. Try to explain line number 57. So see, I'm looking for a return. I'm looking for some sort of a output, right? I'm looking for some sort of output inside my HTML page. And that is the reason. So we have appended this particular string. So this is nothing but HTML tag. And again, so this tag starts from H1 to H6. So like a priority wise. So if I'm going to keep it as H3, so in that case, it will, my string will be a little bit smaller. So now you can see my string is a little bit smaller, right, as compared to the previous one. If I'm going to keep it as h6, right, so in this way it will be even more smaller. Yeah, as you can see. So h1 means just like trying to denote your tag. Because if I'll show you any pages, right, so any like a browser or anything, if I can show you, so maybe I can try to go to Google, and I can try to click on view page sources. So you must be able to see this heavy work HTMLs, and then JavaScript. You will be able to see, you will be able to see some JavaScript encoded JavaScript as well. You will be able to see which you will not be able to copy and paste. So, like all those things comes in terms of full stack development. So people who works into UI UX and backend, so they generally try to use this particular things. So you are not supposed to worry about it. Don't worry. Okay, so now I'm going to ping. I think even now people are facing an issue because I don't know why. So this is your like a code, a very simple code which I have given to you, and this is the URL which I'm trying to hit. So yeah, there are two things which is available inside your browser. Kusubu saying in last class everything whenever we have started PyCharm we are downloaded the Flask code, not getting the Apple Pie, please reply. So why you guys are not joining a Doubtline session? If you have a issue, so it's been 1 week and still you are like on the same place. May I know the reason why you have not joined Doubtline session? Why you have not connected with the support team for the same purpose? So when there is a Doubtline session, when there is a support team, so I think you should connect with them and you are supposed to clarify these things in between a week, right? It will just take 2 minutes of your time. Do you think that in this way you are going to learn? Messages get ignored in doubt clearing session. So I think we ask everyone to share their screen doubt clearing session, right? Okay, still getting 404. 404 simply means that it is not able to reach out to your particular URL. That is the meaning of it. Okay, fine, Mano. So I think you can continue. Uh, yeah, you need some time for sure. Okay, so running perfectly right. I can see some of the comments. Okay, now, so let's try to perform some other operations. So here in the same code, which I have already shared with you, right, last time. So method is same. Again, no need to discuss about this particular method because I'm not using any different method. It's the exact same thing. I'm going to show you with a with a browser. Again, browser, but with the HTML page this time. That how from a HTML page, I will be able to send a request and then it will try to like do some sort of calculation and then it will send me back, right? It will send me back some sort of a response. And this is something that we are going to learn now. Last time with Postman, we have already done that. Now with respect to a browser, done. Now with respect to a HTML page where we can try to create maybe some boxes, some forms, and inside that we can try to like send some data and it will try to do some calculation and it will send back a result to my web browser. So that's the whole idea. So let's try to implement that idea. Again, core part is not going to change. Your functions and all those things are not going to change. That just a couple of things which we are going to change now. So let's try to see this particular one. So here we have given this add, subtract, multiply, divide. So you can try to pick and choose anything over here. Now here, so I can try to put any kind of numbers and I can try to click on calculate. So when I'm going to click on calculate, right? So for sure on this particular hit, it is going to submit these three data. Divide means what is the operations, this one and this one, it is going to send to my Python program, to my backend. And then based on this three input, so it will try to decide so what logic I have to like execute, and it will try to give me a result back to the browser. So this is what I'm looking for, a complete cycle. So from this browser, so it will send a data to my backend, which is my Python program, which is up and running. And again, so once calculation will be done, so I'm expecting a result again inside this web pages. So if I'll click on calculate, so as you can see, I'm able to see the result, right? I'm able to get the result. So I was trying to perform a divide operation and yes, I'm able to see a particular result. Are you going to share with us this PyCharm file at the end of this classes? Microsoft. So I think first of all, you should change your name. Second thing is you are just trying to ping frequently. Third thing is I think you are not joining a class regularly and unnecessary question you are trying to raise. This code is already available inside your dashboard. I've already shared, and even last time I have shared a link. Okay, so here you will be able to see that I'm able to get a result, right? So I'm able to like get a result in this particular place. Now how I'm getting the results and how it is able to complete a full cycle, and you will not be able to find out this I'll say like data inside my browser. So for sure it is trying to do what kind of a request. So can I say that it is a post kind of a request it is trying to do? Yes. And just because of that, so it is it is not able to give me a data inside my browser, right? So let's try to understand. But again, keep one thing in mind. You are not supposed to work on this page creation. So just for this demo purpose, we have created this page. Again, in almost every machine learning algorithm, almost in every machine learning, deep learning, NLP, computer vision project, almost in everyone. So we have created this kind of a page so that you will be able to get a final application. But at the end of the day, it won't be you who will create it. It will be like a UI UX designer or UI UX person who is working into this front end side and UI UX side. So they used to create it. So even our team, so they used to create those kind of a things. Sometimes it's very easy. Like if I have to create just a very simple form and all those things, it will be easy. But if I have to beautify each and everything, so for sure I will not be able to create it, right? Some of you for sure you know these things. Some of you you are supposed to you must be knowing these things. So how many of you know this front end part? Anyone who is aware about this front end side? I just wanted to know. I'm not expecting from any one of you. Don't worry, but still I just would like to know. Yeah. Okay, so some of you I can see you know some basic of things. Those who don't know, you're not supposed to worry about it. It is not your work at all, right? There will be a UI UX designer who will try to do it on behalf of you, and you're just supposed to write a backend code and all those URL and parsing and your API, and then your work will be done. Okay. So now here, let's try to understand how this things is going to happen, and then we will try to understand a debugging. So let's suppose if I'm going to pass wrong data, so in that case, how we can try to do a debugging, how we can try to apply a debugger inside a PyCharm, and step by step, so we can try to debug my entire code. All those things will be very much clear. It's kind of a easy stuff which we can learn. So see here, if I'll try to talk about a code, right? So in a very first place, we have written app.route. And here, so we are trying to use this just a slash. Slash is nothing but a root URL. Root URL is nothing but your local host colon your port number, right? So 127.0.0.1 colon 5000, which is a default port number for my Flask. And here, so when I will try to hit my root URL, so at that point of a time, it is going to execute this function. It's very clear. And I've mentioned get and post. So I'm saying that, okay, fine. So maybe I can try to use get or post both. And in this way, I will be able to perform my operation. So here it will try to execute this particular function, this two-liner function it is going to execute. Now, what we have written inside this two-liner function, let's try to understand that particular part. So here I'm trying to call a render template, and render template we are trying to import from a Flask module itself. So we are trying to say that, okay, when I will try to hit this root URL, right? This root URL, which is nothing but my local host and port number. So just try to execute this HTML. And we all know that HTML behaves like an interpreter. So it will not execute the complete code. It will just try to parse, and then whatever you have written, based on that, it will populate your pages. That's it. Nothing else it try to do, right? Like I said, so again, you're not supposed to understand if you if you're not aware about HTML, but I'm just going to give you a heads up over here. So I'm saying that it will try to execute this particular operation. So index.html. Now inside this index.html, what we have done. So if you will try to see a hierarchy of the code, if you will try to see this hierarchy of the code, so you will be able to find out that there are two folders which we have created inside your project. One is a static and another one is a templates. So again, TEMPLATES. If you are going to write just a template, it is not going to work. You will have to give a fully qualified path. In that case, it will not be able to identify. And many, like a person, many people who just start for the very first time, so they make this kind of a mistake. So you are not supposed to make this mistake. You should understand, it will work even if you are going to give some other name, but yes, you will have to give a fully qualified path for a particular location of this particular file, then only it will work. If you are like writing some other names, suppose if I have not created a templates, templates, right? If I have not created that, so in that case you will have to give a fully qualified path, and then it will be able to render. Render is nothing but like it is trying to like interpret the complete page, and then whatever you have written, whether whatever color or bar or tab or maybe forms that you have created, so it will try to render it, it will try to show it to you, as simple as that. So yes, I can see that it is able to render. Now where I have written this code, so if I'm going to right click and then view page sources, so this is the only code which is written, right? This is the only code which is written, and again it's a HTML code, a basic plain HTML code without any encoding or decoding. So you will be able to see each and everything inside this code. It's like everything over here itself, what we have written inside HTML. You can try to copy this one, you can try to like save something. So I can try to do one thing, so maybe I can try to copy this one, and then I can try to like paste over here, and then maybe I can try to click on save as, right? And maybe I can try to uh, new.html. And from here, so you can try to select, so you will be able to find out HTML somewhere. Yeah, so maybe in this format I can try to save it, right? And wherever I want, so I can try to save this one, and from there I will be able to populate. So let's suppose I'm going to save all of those things inside my C drive or somewhere, and then just click on save, right? So it will be able to save, it will be able to, and if I'll go to my C drive, and if I'll try to check, so for sure, okay, where I have saved, let me check, file and then save as. Okay, it has saved these things inside the document. Let's save these things inside my C drive. Okay, I need a permission, so let's do it inside the document itself. Okay, now here, so if I'll go to like a document, so you will be able to find out this one and see. Here I'm able to see the same page, right? So whatever I have saved, so it's a very basic like a code. I'm just trying to create like a HTML page, and over here, so something I have written to create all those forms, fonts, and needed and everything, and I'm able to save it, and I'm able to open it up directly. Now, so here I'm able to open it up directly, and you must be able to see like a white one, and over there, so we had like a green one. So yes, CSS and CSS we have not applied on top of this one. I'll be talking about that. So cascading style sheet, what is the meaning of it and how it works, just to give you some heads up. So here I'm able to see each and everything, and without execution, same kind of operations your render underscore template method will do, right? It will just try to render your page, nothing else. So whatever things you have written, so it will try to show it to you. Now here inside a template, you must be able to see HTML, index.html, right? So hypertext markup language, it's a simple thing. And inside this, we have written some sort of operations. Inside that, we have written some sort of operations. So what we have written inside this one? So if you will try to check, so here we have written some text, and then we have given some drop down, add, subtract, multiply, divide. We have created two fields, and then we have created this particular button. And here we have written a calculator, right? This is something that we are trying to showcase inside our HTML. So not an issue. It's a simple like a title of this page we are trying to give over here, and then we are trying to like give a style is equal to calculator, and then we are trying to call this math operations, this method is equal to post. So here we are trying to write a action for a form class, right? So form is nothing but like that drop down, and then like a field that we have created, a tab that we have created. So from a form, so it will try to call what action? It will try to call math action, with the help of method post. So we are trying to like call a post method, and here you must be able to see choose mathematical operations or choose mathematical operation. And then here we are trying to write like id is equal to operation, name is equal to operation. And if this is things means if this is the operation which we have selected from this one, so here we are trying to like add a drop down. So this is a tab, means option tab, by which we are trying to add a multiple values. So let's suppose if I would like to add one more operation, right? So let's suppose if I would like to add one more operation, so maybe I can try to write in this way. So here and I can try to write my test, right? That is completely fine. I can do it. And let me execute, and I will be able to show you that it must have appended this test operation as well. Okay, divide. Where is my, okay, so here value is equal to test, and this text which it is going to show me, that should be text, right? Execute and then go over there. So are you able to see a test? So we are able to add a new drop down as a test, right? So it's very easy if I have to create a drop down. So how I will be able to create a drop down in a very simple method by using a very simple operation. So there is something called as an option tab. You will be able to find out inside a select tab. These are just a HTML tag, and I'm not expecting that you should know about it. That's the reason, so I'm not going in detail, right? But yeah, so if you understand a basic of HTML, CSS, so I think you all will be able to understand it. If you are not able to understand, no need to worry. This is not your subject. Simple. And no one will ask you to like do this kind of operation at all. So just to like show you a complete flow, I'm giving you this demonstration. So here I'm just able to add one new drop down, right? So whenever I'll select a test, and if I've written some operations, it will try to perform those operations. Now here input. So again, we are trying to create a input form. So I'm trying to create like an input form over here. So here type is equal to text, name is equal to num1. So here you must be able to see that I'm trying to create what a input form over here I'm trying to create. So this is one input tab. This is the another input tab I'm trying to create, and this is the button I'm trying to create. Yes. So here a text is equal to like a type text num1, and id is equal to num1, and then type is equal to text. So what is the data I'm going to insert? So it should like we should insert text. So internally we are going to give num2, num1, and id is equal to num2 and num1. So this is nothing but, so I'm trying to create over here. Let me create another one so that you will be able to see some look and feel over here. So let's suppose I'm going to create a num3 over here num3, right? Control S, and then again try to render it. So as you can see, 3 tab I have created. So if I have to like enter 3 value, 4 value, 5 value, 10 value, 8 value, not an issue at all, right? I will be able to do that. So this is something that we are trying to create over here. So we are trying to like give multiple inputs, and then here, so type is equal to submit is nothing but a button. If you have to create a button kind of a thing, so you can try to give input type is equal to submit, and on submit it is supposed to call whom, right? So when I'm going to click on calculate button, right, so it is supposed to take all the data, so whether I'm doing addition, subtraction, or whatever, and then it is supposed to take this values which I'm going to insert inside the form, and then it is supposed to send these values to my like a Python program. It is supposed to send my values to a Python program, and then it is supposed to execute like a calculate option. It is supposed to execute this calculate option. So this is what we are trying to do in this particular case. So we are trying to perform this calculate operation. So value is equal to calculate. So it will try to hit what? So it will try to hit basically my action in this way. So it is going to submit all of those things, and it is going to like perform all of these actions. So so actions, this math operations, it is going to perform, and it will try to send a data to my Python program. Then Python program will try to execute it. It will give me some responses, right? And I'm supposed to showcase that response in some other HTML page. Let's suppose in some other HTML page. So what we have written over here, so I will receive a data exact similar way, right? So I'll receive a data, and then once it will try to give me a result. So I'm trying to render what I'm trying to again render, but another HTML page. Now what I have written inside this HTML page, so this is the result HTML page, and here, right? So we are trying to return what? So we are trying to return a result, right? So if you will try to see over here, so we are trying to return a result. So we are saying that, okay, fine, so calculation result is equal to result, and it will try to show me inside my browser. So this is the only body that we have written over here, the only body, right? Again, you may ask me a question that what you have written over here, right? And again, you can ask me a question, so those who are not at all aware about these things, so what we have written over there, right? So I have to beautify my page. Let's suppose I have to change a color of my page, or maybe some line, tab, all those things I have to beautify. So maybe what I can do is, so there is something called as a cascading style sheet, right? So we can try to add a styling. So styling has been done by the CSS. So whenever we try to create a web pages and all, so we can try to do a styling. So for a styling, so here inside the static folder, so whatever styling or like a CSS styles that you have, so we can try to keep inside the static folder. Inside that we can try to create a CSS folder, and then inside that, so we have kept main.css, style.css over here. So we have defined like what will be the background color of body, what will be the box size, and what will be the header. All those things we have already defined. So it's, this is nothing but most of this CSS we are not using. Actually we are not using it, right? So most of the CSS we used to copy and paste, and then like okay fine, so keep it inside our own CSS. Some of the CSS we used to remove, so that I will be able to control I will be able to control a complete styling part, the color part, and all those things I will be able to control. And this is what we are trying to call. So we are trying to call a style.css, right? And styling sheet name style.css, and whatever style that we have mentioned inside style.css, so it will try to implement that. So let's suppose if I'm going to change maybe a color, uh, I can try to change maybe uh, E1. Let's suppose, let's check, let's see whether this color exists or not. I don't know whether this color exists or not. I think color has changed a little bit, right? Are you able to see some differences? Okay, if not, I can change this color direct, I can change this color. So maybe what I can do is I can try to do a Google, and then color code for HTML, and then I can try to select. I can go to any color picker, right? And I can try to maybe pick and choose this chocolate color. So I can try to mix up those colors, and then I can try to choose it. So maybe I can try to use this hex code, that is fine. And I can try to keep it inside my style.css color code, and execute again. This time it has changed completely, right? So it's like very easy and basic things. Again, if I have to design simple basic like a HTML pages, it's not at all a big deal. Anyone can do that, right? And again, we used to do it in our college days sometime, right? Just for fun sometime we used to do it. So it's not like it's a tough things to design a basic form kind of a structure. And again, you will be able to see all the HTML tag or like code directly over internet. And if I like some form, and if that form is available somewhere, so I can just copy and paste, and then I can utilize it over here directly. So even those are the things which we do a lot. All like a UI UX developer used to do it, or a beginner, those who try to develop something for the very first time. So, okay, so the whole idea is when I will click on calculate, it will try to call what? It will try to call this math operation, right? So if you will see my index.html, so we have written action is equal to slash math, right? So now it will try to append in my URL, right? It will try to append what? Slash math. So it will try to route my entire operations to a slash math operation. And what we have written inside the slash math operation, exact same thing that we have discussed in our last classes, right? So nothing like a different we have written over here, and we are trying to render a particular page. So we are trying to return all of those data inside my particular page. So I'll just try to execute it, right? And then what I can do, so I can try to like render, so I can try to insert some data over here and then calculate. So here, yes, so sum of this and this is equal to this one. We are able to get our output, right, everyone? So again, it's easy to understand, I think. Yeah, why we are using double curly braces and single like curly braces over here? So it's just a notation to return a data to the HTML. Why CSS file gives error when we run the code? No, CSS file like is not going to give you any kind of error. Yeah, so it's a very easy things to implement. It's very easy things to like develop, and very easy things to do it at any point of a time, right? This is what we feel. So I think all of you will be able to do it, and you will be able to like return a data or maybe a value. You will be able to create another 10 fields, different fields. Just copy paste of the HTML page, and you will be able to perform, or you will be able to create a form to perform any kind of operations, right? So that things are like those things are like pretty much possible for all of us. Okay, so here, right, so here what we can do is that this particular operation is good. Now how many of you are able to execute this operation? 404 error by CSS, so your page is like it is not able to find out the pages. Okay, so many of you are able to do it easily, right? And some of you are still struggling with the code, I assume. Some of you like saying that you don't have a code. So last time, I think in my class itself, I have already shared a Google Drive link with all of you, and this code is available even inside your dashboard. Yes. This complete code is available inside your dashboard. So please try to look into your dashboard when you are saying that you are not able to like find a code or something, right? 40 error is coming. I don't think so. 40 error will not come. You are supposed to start these things first of all, app.py file, and then you have to execute. And before, so then try to check. Then it will not give you like a 404. 404 simply means that it is not able to reach out to your like pages. And here, so if it is giving you 404 with for the styling, you can leave it, that is fine. So we are able to get like a 200, and after that for styling it is giving me 404 or 304. So it's none of my concern, because there may be some problem with my CSS, right? I have made some changes, or maybe I have made some mistake, but CSS is been used just for the styling purpose. Its name itself says that it's for like it's been used for the styling purpose, so it's called as cascading style sheet. Okay, so even is there in last year class recording. Yes, yeah, it is there actually. Okay. What is your issue here, Suraj? So see, you have pasted this particular code, and you are expecting that it should return something, right? So let me execute this one. And if you are going to like write URL function, and if you're trying to like return something over here, so for sure it will try to return something in your console, right? So it will return in your console, it will not return in your HTML. So if you would like to return these things into HTML, so try to append HTML tag. Okay, so now moving ahead, so hope you all are able to execute it. Yes, here, so you all are able to execute it. It's a very simple one. And again, API is not a big deal. Again, if I'm trying to deal with the Flask, so I don't think that it's tough for you. When we were talking about functions and all those things, so those things were like a little bit tough for us, but I don't think that this particular things is like tough. We are just supposed to get an understanding that, okay, fine, so what is happening, so how it is trying to make a call, how it is trying to reach out to the particular method or function, and it is able to execute my Python code. This is what we are supposed to understand. So all of you will be able to do it, right? If I'll give you a task, because this time I'm going to give you a very huge task. Yeah. Okay, great. But before that, so I would like to talk about a debugging actually, right? So how I will be able to do a debugging and inside a PyCharm, and how I will be able to debug my code or maybe my mistakes or anything, any such kind of a things, how I will be able to do it, right? So let's try to understand how we can try to do a debugging again. So debugging inside a PyCharm is very, very easy as compared, it's just a click, you can say. So it's very, very easy. Why we use H1? This is a HTML tag. So you have to use it if you have to showcase something into HTML. Otherwise, it will not be able to recognize that it's a HTML. Now, so a simple thing is debugging is very, very easy when we talk about like a PyCharm. It's very easy, and server side and client side debugging, you will be able to do it very easily. So let's suppose I'm trying to perform some operation. So I'll just go back, and I will try to maybe enter some sort of a string. And then you must be able to see that it is telling me, or it is giving me internal server error, right? So this time I'm not able to get a result. Why? Because I have entered a string, right? FSDS kind of a things I have entered. And because of that, so it is not able to give me result. Now, if I'll go and check my PyCharm, so it is giving me a very long error, and it is telling me that it is giving you this sort of a this sort of a data you are able to get, and because of that, so this application is failed, right? This particular call is failed. So maybe if you can try to give particular input, so in that case I will be able to give you output, otherwise I will not be able to give you the output, right? So in this case it will fail. Simple. So I'm not handling these things. If I would have handled these things with the help of maybe try catch, that if number one or number two is a string, and if it is not convertible into an integer format, then show this message or that message, right? If I would have handled, I can handle it. And ideally, so I'm supposed to handle these things, and I think we have discussed these things in our try catch or try except. So in our try except or exception handling classes, that we are supposed to handle these kind of a situation. You can't leave these things up to users, that user will take care of it. No, you are you have designed this entire thing, so you are supposed to take care of these particular things. Now here, right, that is fine, we can handle it. I think we all know, right guys, everyone, we know how to handle this situation from a code side. We can write a simple try catch statement, right? And then if it is falling inside the except statement, then try to render again like result.html page, and in that, as a result, so I can try to pass some messages, whatever exception messages I will be able to get, I'm supposed to pass this one, so that user will be able to rectify it. Yeah. So I think it's not a big deal at all for us, the level that we have achieved in last 2 months. Okay, so here, those things is easy. You can try to do these things in your task for sure, because when I will give you a task, so you are supposed to apply all the instruction, and you are supposed to apply all the standard coding procedure anyhow. But here, let's talk about a debugging, how to do a debugging inside a PyCharm step by step. So how I will try to apply a debugger, or maybe how I will be able to see what kind of a value I have received from a server side. Because let's suppose if there are so many variables, right? If so many variables, if thousands line of code is written, right? So if thousands of, or 10,000, so more than like a 5,000 line of code is given in your project itself, I will say. So if that many number of lines is written, and maybe I'm not able to understand that how my code is moving, or maybe I'm trying to pass some data, my code is failing again and again and again, right? So how I will be able to debug my code, how I can try to test my code, and again in a client server manner, so how I will be able to perform these things. So here, please explain try clause for this code. Please try to go through your exception handling classes. I have already discussed in very, very detailed way. On top of that, many people have discussed an application, including try and catch. So more than 10 application, 10 times we have already done a discussion on that particular part. In every classes, I'm not going to recall these things. Otherwise, like I'll just get stuck to the very first topic, like which is a variable declaration, and I'll have to start again from the variable declaration. So it's practically impossible, and I think you should like take care of it. This is what I feel. So okay, so if this is the situation, so how to do a debugging? So let's try to do it. It will be fun. So let's suppose I have made some mistake, and let's suppose if I'm trying to execute some sort of a code from that side, from maybe my client side. My client is whom? This is my client. So from client side, so I'm trying to send a request. Then my server is what? My Python program is my server, and it will try to give me a responses, right? So here, what we can do is, so maybe we can try to apply a debugger somewhere. So in PyCharm, you all will be able to see, right? So in PyCharm, you all will be able to see this one. Are you able to see it, guys? This insects kind of a symbol. Yes, I think all of you will be able to see it by default inside a PyCharm. You're not supposed to do any kind of installation or something, right? So yes, ladybug actually, you will be able to see. So what you have to do is, so as of now, so you can execute your code in two mode. So one in like a complete like a server mode, and another one is a debugger mode. So in a debugger mode, you can try to execute your code, and if you are able to see that particular like a ladybug, so if you are able to see this ladybug corona symbol, no, it's not a corona symbol. Don't like it's just a like a ladybug symbol. You will be able to find out over here, right? So hope all of you are able to see it, right? Okay, so what we have to do is, so we can try to like execute our code maybe into a debugger mode, and then we can try to test it. This is what we do. So when we deal with a 10,000 line of a code, and when we find very difficulty to find out the bug, because debugging is one of the I'll tell you, ideally, like when we do a development, right? So it will be like a 20% development and 80% debugging. So more you are supposed to focus more and more on debugging. If you are good with like a code, it will not make you a very good programmer or maybe a developer going forward. If you are good with debugging, that will make you a better programmer, better developer, and that comes out of the experience. You will try to debug it, and there is no straightforward way. First of all, yes, I can tell you that, okay, fine, so how to find that. But again, if application is complex, so you have to struggle, and then going forward, you will be able to learn, you will be able to like know automatically. It will come automatically inside you that, okay, fine, so this is what I'm supposed to like do in case of this kind of a bug. So it's always like as experience matters, and that's the reason. So sometimes we are able to like fix some issue very easily, and maybe you will take some time, but if you will practice, again you will be in the same position. So it's all about just a practice. The number of like a bug you will solve, a number of like the more like efficient you will feel. So here, what we can do is, right, so we can try to run these things into a debugging mode, and in PyCharm, right? So let's suppose if I have executed a code, so for sure when I will try to hit enter or calculate, right? So it will start executing line by line. Code always executes itself line by line, right? It's not like it will jump. It will follow the entire instruction that you have given, right? So whatever instruction that you have written inside the code, so just like a story, right? So just when we try to read out some story line by line, or maybe one paragraph after another, one pages after another, so in the similar way code is going to execute itself. So we can maybe try to apply a debugger. So this is something called as debugging point that you can apply. So in a PyCharm, you can try to click, just you can try to click over here, and you will be able to create this like a dot. So every one of you will be able to create it. Again, you can click again, it will be gone. So these are nothing but it's called as a debugging point. Debugging point means, so if you are trying to execute your code in a debugging mode, and if it will go through that particular point, right? If it will go through, if it is executing that particular point. So let's suppose if I have clicked over here, so this is the debugging point I have applied, right? So this is the debugging point if I have applied. So when it will come to this point, it will stop my code, and then I can try to check that what I'm getting inside the operation, or internally what operation is trying to call, or any, like many things, depends upon the variety of the code that we have written. So it will be able to like show you, I will be able to get this sort of a like information in a easiest possible way, right? So this is something called as a debugging point. I can try to apply my debugging point anywhere I want, right? At any point of a time. And almost every IDE that you are going to use in your life, right? So whether it's a PyCharm, or maybe it's a Eclipse, or maybe it's a uh, like a VS Code. So everywhere you will be able to find out debugger. Again, in a different way, but yeah, debuggers like every standard IDE. Or every ID that we use for production, or maybe for like writing a code for the products, or maybe for like a development. So you will be able to find out these kind of option. That's the reason. So these beautiful features they have given you, right? Which is not available in your like a Jupyter notebook or Google Colab or anywhere. You will have to install a debugger, PyDebugger, and then you will have to write a code, which is like not a good approach to debug any kind of a code. You will end up introducing like a bug in the code itself if you are trying to write a debugging code into like a Jupyter notebook, and then you will go mad saying that, okay, fine, so I don't know what to do next. So here you can try to apply a debugging point, or maybe you can try to say these things as a checkpoints, right? So where code will stop itself, and then you can try to check what is the data that I have received, and then it will try to move ahead. This is something which happens in general, right? This is the meaning of debugging. So step by step, line by line, you will keep on executing a code, you will keep on checking the data, and then you can try to finally execute it, right? So this is where debuggers comes into a picture. So for example, right? So this is a code just now I have explained you, right? Let's suppose I will try to apply a debugging point over here. Then I can try to apply debugging point over here. Then I can try to apply debugging point over here. Then if it is coming to this point, then I'll try to apply debugging point over here, here, or else here or here. So randomly, I'm just trying to apply debugging point in many places. That is completely fine. So in whatever place it will come, so it will try to stop. So let's suppose if it is executing, because we know that it is going to execute one of the statement, right? Not all the statement, not all the if statement. So wherever it will come, so it will try to stop itself, right? So this is the debugging point I have applied, all the red one, and hope you all are able to apply. You all are able to click. Yes, everyone. Okay. So just a simple cursor, right? Click, and again, if I have to remove debugging point, so in this way I can remove, or you will be able to see an option over here as well. Now, so debugging point has been applied. So here you will be able to find out like a remove breaking point, or disable debugging point, or this one. So this is like a checkpoint or breakpoint we can try to apply. Now here, so we can try to click on debug app, right? So I can try to click on debug app. So here it will ask me that would you like to like run these things in a debugging mode? So I can say yes, stop and rerun. So now my code is running in a debugging mode. Again, nothing has changed. Same thing, right? Nothing has changed. It has just executed my code into a debugging mode. Now what will happen, right? So when I will reach out to this particular point, a very first point, right? If my code is going to reach out to this first point, then it will stop itself. If it will not be able to encounter this one, it will not stop itself. Very simple, right? So here I can try to click, and then maybe I can try to pass some values over here. 45 or something. Right now click on calculate. So once you will click on calculate, so you will be able to find out that sometime it will automatically pop up, your PyCharm will pop up automatically, because now I'm not getting a data. See, I'm just going to click on calculate. I'm not getting the data, right? It is not giving me result page. Ideally it should give me a result page, but it is not giving me result page. Now what it is trying to do, so it is trying to stop me over here on 13 number. I have applied debugging point in this particular place, but it is trying to get inside this method, and it is trying to stop. So this is the first point, and it is trying to stop itself. Now it is trying to say that, okay, fine. So this is some request which I have sent, right? So this is the request which I have sent over there, and other detail. So this is the request which I have sent in this particular place, and other detail I will be able to find out, right? And here if you will try to click, so you will be able to see many different options. So what it is trying to call internally, so all those things, complete hierarchy, so of the Flask code you will be able to find out. So complete like a Flask code, or whatever your code is trying to call, so you will be able to find out, right? So whenever you are going to click over here, so fine, I'm here, right? So I'm available at this particular place, and here, so you will be able to find out that it is trying to send me what kind of a data. So it is trying to send me immutable multi dictionary, right? I'm just trying to hover over that request. So sometimes some of you is going to find out some difficulties to find out this data. So there is a chance, there is a possibility, right? So I'm just going to hover these things, and from this form, what it is able to get, so operation is equal to add, name 1 is equal to 45, name 2 is equal to 53, name 3 is equal to null, right? Null string it is able to get. Yes, so this is something which is coming from the from, right? This particular form. Now, so if I'll try to hover mouse over the request, so request is what? So request is basically a post, means post request it is sending. So everything I'm able to see, right? So whatever things I'm able to get, and still I'm not able to get the result in my web pages. This operation has stopped itself over here itself, so that I can try to run my analysis, I can try to do whatever I want, right? So every kind of information, so what is the base URL, what is the data type of this base URL, right? What is caching it is trying to do or not. So every micro level of informations you will be able to get. What is the method it is trying to use over here, right? And what is the classes it is trying to use over here. So I told you, right? So Flask follows actually Rigbug, this one, data structure immutable type. So this is the framework it is going to use in a backend. So yes, it is trying to show me that one. And again, so what is the origin of this one? What is the path it is trying to call, right? So every small informations I'm able to see, right? So who is going to send what kind of a data, so in a very detailed way, right? So I'm able to see all of these informations, which generally we are not aware about this kind of information, right? And again, so you are not supposed to understand all the operations or all the information. Yes, some of the informations you are supposed to understand, so that you will be able to perform different kind of operations as and when it is required. But yeah, so you will be able to get values. So value wise, what this is the things which I need, right? So I have to check like a value. So what is the values I'm getting, what is the values which I'm getting, right? So this value wise operation is equal to add, which is coming from where? Web page. Number one coming from where? Web page. Number two coming from where? Web page. Number three coming from where? Web page, right? So this is something that we are trying to get over here in this particular format. And again, you will be able to check, or you will be able to see that whether it's a string or whether it's a integer which I'm receiving from my like web pages, right? So just imagine how easy it is, whenever I have to perform these kind of operations, or whenever I have to check that what is going on, and this is coming from the request side, right? So when it is trying to send me a request, means send a request to this Python program, right? So this is a data it is trying to send, right? This is the data it is trying to send as this particular value. So okay, this is the data which it is trying to send to this particular values. Now what is next? So what is next? So maybe I'm able to see that, okay, fine. So this is something that we are able to get over here, right? So I'm able to see it in a easiest possible way. Now what I can do, so if I'm good, that okay, fine, so this data set is good, this data set is as per my expectation, so it is completely fine. Otherwise, I can try to change a data in a runtime, and then I can test it. Even that option PyCharm gives you. A PyCharm, it's not PyCharm, everyone gives, basically. You will be able to find out. So all the detail operations you all will be able to see, right? In this like a beautiful manner. Let's suppose I'm going to hover my mouse over the request. So here again, it is going to give me like all the detail about the request. So in down, I can go and I can check my values. That okay, fine. So what is the values which I'm able to get, right? So these are the values I'm able to get, and it is giving me like a immutable multi-dictionary, right? So this is in this format I'm trying to get the data, right? Now, so request and this one. Now, if I'll try to hover my mouse over operations, or then or maybe what I can do is, so this is the data it is going to return, and it is going to assign these things to a operations, right? So now operations is having a values. Now what I can do is, so like we are trying to get request dot from. Now what we are getting from the form, let's try to understand. So here, if I'll talk about just this form, right? So we are getting operations number one, this. Now from here, can I say that this is available into a dictionary format? Yes, this is available into a dictionary format, and dictionary name is equal to request.form. Can I say that? Dictionary name is equal to request.form. So if I'll pass a key, I'll be able to get a respective values. As simple as that. So this is the reason. So I'm just trying to extract number one. So number one will extract and give it to like this particular one. And again, so we are just trying to do like a typecasting of this operations, and I'm trying to assign these values inside this one. Now again, if I'll talk about this form too, so it's the same thing, immutable dictionary. From there, it is trying to access the data. Now here, so we are trying to call like operations. So here, so now still my debugging point is available in this particular place. I have to move ahead, right? I have to move to the next point, let's suppose. So here you will be able to find out a new options. That's this tick or this arrow you will be able to find out. So this arrow you will be able to find out over here if you are running your code into a debugging mode. So this is nothing but go to the next point. So whatever next point that you have applied wherever, so it will try to create a jump of it. So maybe I can try to click, right? So click, and now I'm going to the next step. So again, I'm going to the next step over here, and now over here, so number one is equal to, so next step, so number one, and you will be able to see a print as well. This is not something that we are printing. Number one operation is equal to add. This is not something we are printing. So system itself is trying to like print those things, as you can see, right? So here you can try to do one thing. So you can try to add your own variables as well. So maybe if you would like to like override some value, number one is equal to this one, so it will try to like override. So even that option is available. So number one, you can try to override, you can try to consider that particular values, or you can try to remove it, subtract it. So even when you are trying to do the debug, you can keep on changing the values over here itself, and it will keep on passing this value. Like we try to call input, right? So input will try to give a data inside your function, and then it will try to execute. So it will try to do it. Now again, so I can try to click next, and then like see number one. So what is the number that we have received from the browser? What is the number that we have received from the browser? Number value of number one. 45, right? And what is the value it has assigned? Yeah, so I can show you, like it was 45 actually, right? 45 was the value which we were sending. And what is the value that we have assigned? This one, right? So in a runtime, right, when we are trying to debug all of those things, so let's suppose sometime what happens is, so maybe some code is not working with this data type, that data type, this value, that value. So in a hard coded way, we can from here itself, from the debugging mode itself, we can try to override that value. So in the debugging mode, we are overriding the value. So final result which I will be able to get, I will not be able to get 45 plus 54. I will be able to get 56767 plus 54, because now number one I have overridden from here. Simple, right? So this is like, again, when we do our debugging, so for sure we have to test it with the multiple values, right, every time. So this is where I can try to add it. So it's very easy, right? Just click on here and I can try to see if I have to change my operations, right? So what I will do is, so I can try to click over here and operation. So by default it is what, add is given, and I would like to like change these things to subtract. So subtract, and then over here, and then next, right? So here now what is the operation has changed, right? Previously it was add, so now it will do a subtract operation of these two number. Yeah. So it's like in a runtime itself, when we were trying to debug it, so we will keep on changing the values, and like we will try to test it with the multiple values, all those things, and then we can try to debug it, fix the issue, and then we can send it back, right? I'll show you how to change not changing. Can you once again? Okay, I don't know why you guys like struggle with even a small things. I said click on this particular like button. This button is available, and I'm not writing any code. It's just like a UI. This is how easy it is, right? Try to click at least here and there, wherever you want, click it, you will get to know many things just out of click. There's nothing to learn in this one. I'm not teaching anything, don't worry. So I'm just like showing you something. Okay, so this is nothing to, there is nothing to teach. It's just like common things that we all try to use it as a developer when we write a code. So it's like a natural thing which will come out of you. It's a very simple thing. um, okay, now moving ahead, right? So this is how I can try to change the values, easy, right? And it has changed my values in a runtime itself. And then I can try to maybe go to the next point, then next point. So like a step into, so maybe like a step into the next one, a step into the next debugging point, right? A step into the next debugging point. Now see, here I'm able to see the result. Still I'm waiting for a result over here, right? I'm waiting for the result, right? I've not received a result over here. It's still running itself into a debugging mode. I'll show you how and why. So let me close all of these things. Can you see that my browser is still moving? Can you see that it's still moving? And I think it's still moving for you as well. So it has not executed. It has not completed its execution. Still it is trying to execute, but I'm holding my code in my backend side. I'm just trying to do a testing, right? So I'm just trying to do a testing. So I'm just holding my code in my backend side. So it has not executed itself. So it will execute. So either it will fail or it will like give me a result page, right? But no, still it is moving. And I think you all will be able to see the exact same thing in your browser. And here we are able to get the result, because yes, it calculates over here, right? And here we are trying to print what result. So the result is screen, result is string we are trying to like call. Again, if I have to like do some things with the testing, right? So maybe I can try to perform like operations, and this time I would like to do some add operation, right? So I would like to do add. So add was the keyword, right? A double D, I think, yes. So add, right? So operation is equal to add, and then I can try to execute. So here if I'll go, this operation has changed, and it will be like if I'll try to like do a step over, so it will be able to perform this operation. So previously the operation was, okay, it has wiped out, it went to the next one. Are we able to get the result? Now I have just like executed it in a single shot itself, right? So now I have just executed it, and this is the like rerun the app, or if you have to like stop a debugging mode, so this is the red button that you will be able to find out, right? So this is the red button. So these are like pretty obvious options that you all will be able to find out inside your like a debugger itself. So in this way I can try to debug my entire code, right? So I can try to change a value into a real time, and then I can try to test it, and many more operations I will be able to do. Now here I'll just try to do one thing. I can try to maybe like close all of these files. Okay, so I can maybe try to like close all of these files, and here So maybe I can try to execute this code again into a debugging mode. Okay. So let's try to run these things into a debugging mode. So started, and let me clean my screen first of all. Yeah. So started, and then this one. Now here, so maybe I can try to pass some sort of a string, right? So some sort of a string I'm going to pass. Okay. Now I can try to click on calculate. What will happen, by the way? Any idea, guys? So error I will get. So is it error I'm going to get? Am I going to get an error? I'm just like trying to pass a string, right? Okay, so someone is saying that string concatenation. It's a nice observation, I'll say. So addition operation we are trying to do, but if you remember a code in our code, so we are trying to do typecasting as well, string to integer. So can I say that over there? It will fail. Yeah. So what will happen if I'll go and click on calculate, right? So can I say that I'm just running my code into a debugger mode, right? So wherever I have applied a debugging point, it will go and stop there. Yes. So it will go and just stop over there, right? So it will not throw anything unless and until I'm not reaching out to that particular point where we are doing a integer conversion, right? So let's click on calculate. So now I have clicked on calculate, and now this is the place where it is, it has stopped. Now if I try to check, right, so this is the values. So number one is equal to ASDF, number two is equal to FSDF, right? So these are the data which I am able to receive from my server, from my client side, right? So to my server, this is my server. So from my client side to the server, this is the data which I am able to receive over here. Yes. Okay, but see, the thing is, I have entered a wrong data, right? But I don't just want to display like a error over there. So maybe in between this debugging mode itself, I can try to change, right? User has entered the wrong data, right? And I got to know about it. I know this is going to give me an error. Where it is going to give me error? Just in next line. It is going to throw an error just in next line itself. Here itself I will be able to get the error, right? So what we can do, so maybe we can try to change it in our debugging mode itself, right? Possible. So I can try to click on add, and then operation is equal to add, just leave it as it is. Number one is equal to, maybe I'll try to like give as a 2, right? And maybe number 2 is equal to, so number 2 is equal to maybe like 21. I can try to give, yes. And then I can try to step ahead. So can I say that this things has changed, 21 and 2? Yeah. And then I'll try to execute the like a complete app. Yeah. So I will like try to like execute the complete app. So in this way, what will happen? So internal server error. Okay, I just stopped it, right? So I can just try to execute it in a single handler itself. So there is an option a step into, and then I can try to execute it. Okay, internal server error. Not stepped into, otherwise it will go inside the code. And it is trying to like It is giving me internal server error, so there is some issue. It is trying to raise. So number one, number two, and I'm assuming that it is able to override. Execution will be completed. Okay, number one and number two. So yes, we are able to override and then directly execute the complete code. Okay, it should not give me like a server error if I'm executing the code. There must be some issue because of that. So number one and number two, if we are trying to send, so number one is none type. This one is also a none type. Hmm. Okay. It is able to convert or take number one and number two is equal to a string. So yes, and then F9. Again, internal server error. So yeah, because of some issue, it is not able to convert. It is showing me like none type kind of a thing. Just clean everything. Number 245. Number one is equals to 56, and then operation is equals to add. Okay. Yeah, so it is able to allocate this number, and it should come till this particular point. So maybe we can try to like step into this one, or ideally next point wise it should go over here. Okay, it has crashed. It's actually very easy, so it will work. Let me just remove all the debugging point, close all the other app. Hmm. invalid literals. Okay, I have not applied the breakpoint, so it has not stopped itself. So maybe I can try to apply a breakpoint here, here, and maybe here. Okay, so it's coming over here, and we can try to change. So what is the value of number one? So value of number one is 56. I think it's taking a value from the previous one. Value of number two is equal to this one, and then it should go to, okay, so still executing. So I can use F9. So F9 will try to execute the complete app instead of like going step by step. So it will be able to do the those kind of operations, collecting data. Now it has stopped actually. PyCharm got stuck. Yeah, just like a couple of minutes back, so it was working fine and it was giving me a result in my console, but now it's showing me some issue. PyCharm is blank. So how you can directly jump from one breakpoint to another breakpoint? So you must be able to find out that arrow button, right? So with the help of arrow button, so you will be able to do that. How do you analyze it has crashed? So if you will see the browser, right? So if in your browser, if it is giving you like an internal server error or something, so it simply means that based out of the previous input, it is like giving you the output. So in my system, it is executed. Yeah, it will work. Like it's not like it will not work. So maybe I can try to click on a step into, so a step into, so with the help of maybe a F7, so it will keep on like going to the next step, and I can keep on analyzing that what is the next thread it is going to execute, right? So this is like a step out. So if you have to step out for out of something, so it will be able to like do that. So a step out of like anything, like the things that you have executed, and here, so run to the cursor. So it will try to run to the cursor point. So like it will cursor is here as of now, and maybe I can try to move to the next one. Again, I can try to click on run to the cursor point, and this is the cursor point that I have. So I can try to like see the next thing. So again, run to the cursor, and F9 if you are going to click, so it will try to execute each and everything. And we must be able to see some like a result. Operations is equals to add. It is, it should not crash ideally. I think I'll have to restart my PyCharm. Now should be terminated. No. Operations, and then maybe like a result. And here we can try to apply a debugger. It is not even getting inside this one. Close all. py. Yeah, sometime your PyCharm is going to give a issue. Like I have already applied a debugger and it is supposed to come over here. Like it's not like it should not come over here. Ideal cases. So yes, first of all, it will try to give me data over here, and then it will go to the next step, and then it will go to the next step. Right. So maybe I can try to apply something in this particular place, and it will work after a couple of restart for sure. But I'm not looking for a restart again and again. Okay, close it. This one. Wait, I have to close my browser. Let's do some hard reload. It's not going to hit. Yeah, it's not going into my debugger mode now. So, like, I will have to restart my PyCharm again, and then it will go inside the debugging mode. Terminate this entire things. I think I'll have to do a system restart then because it is not coming inside my debugging mode at all. So it's a issue with the PyCharm. So sometime you will be able to like see that it gives you a issue. So let me stop, and breakpoint we have applied on this particular places. That is fine. This will not work. Pin. Because of cache issues, so it is giving me my results, so it is not able to execute. Okay, let me do these things. So what I will do is, so maybe I can try to call this one. So I have written this another function, right? So this sudh function, so maybe I can try to apply debugging point even over here. It's not like I can apply anywhere. So I can try to send outcome 127 dot this, and slash what is a path that we have. So maybe I can try to give sudh function as a path. So fine, just try to give sudh function as a path, and yeah, so value 2 is equal to sudh. I think we are giving two values and we are trying to perform the addition operation. So maybe I can try to pass what. So I can try to pass 456, and value 1 is equals to 34. 34. And as of now, we are running this entire things into debugging mode, PyDev debugger, and let me hit. Okay, so directly I'm like getting this result. So I think my debugger is like not working. It's not going into a debugger mode. Debugger mode is off. So maybe DUG is to TRUE. Let's see whether this is going to help me out. I'll have to restart my system. It will work after restart because it was working and we were able to get into a debugging mode. And now it is not getting inside the debugging mode at all. So it is not coming over here. It should stop my code here itself. Debugger is active. So all these messages are clean, which we can see very clearly. And it was just working right 2 minutes back. So we were talking about the debugging. Everything was working fine. So after restart, so it will just clear my cache, and then otherwise I'll have to like clear the cache, or maybe I can try to create a new project itself. So even in that way, it is like going to work. New, so maybe I can try to create a Python file. Uh, oh, 1.py. Yeah, so just system restart and it will work for sure. So after system start, so there is no chance that it is not going to work. So it will work for sure. But yes, this is what I have to like discuss, that how to do a debugging. So it's very simple. So you can try to apply a breakpoints wherever you want. It will try to come into a debugging mode, and once it will be like here inside a debugging mode, so you can try to debug, you can try to check, okay fine, so what is the value I'm able to get from my server side, from my client side into my server, and then you can try to change or manipulate some values on a server side itself, and you will be able to process it, right? So this is something happens into debugging, and again it's just a steps that we used to follow. It's not like we used to learn something in this one, so just a couple of clicks, and out of that, so you all will be able to like see each and everything. So this is something that you all will be able to find out at any point of a time. Server restart is the only option that I have. Like system restart is the only option that I have. After that, it will start working. My debugger mode is working. So even my debugger mode was working, right? Just like 10 minutes back. So yeah, in everyone's system it will work. Sometimes this kind of a issue PyCharm used to give. I'll just have to like window defender entirely. Okay, so fine guys, are you able to like do it? Everyone? Yes, so I can see every one of you are able to do it. So now it's time to like understand, or it's time to like understand some task. And after that, so I'll try to give you like a basic idea and overview about the Django. And yes, so maybe today we can try to finish off our Django installations and setup and each and everything. Then tomorrow we can try to see some sort of application in a Django, right? So again, in Django, so you will be able to perform similar kind of operation. And as far as this debugging is concerned, so debugging you can try to do anywhere. So like for any kind of a code, you can try to apply a debugging at any point of a time. There won't be any kind of a issue at all. What is the variable rules in a Flask? Can you please explain? So what is the variable rule you are looking for? So there is no variable rule as such. Any another annotation? So no, as of now, I think you should talk about this one. And with the help of this, you will be able to reach out and get and post method. You can try to use. And with the help of this, so you will be able to build all such kind of application. Is Django better than Flask? Yes, you can say that Django is a little bit better than Flask. And again, so there is other frameworks as well, which is much better than Flask. Not Django, a little bit better. So you can try to create a full-fledged application with the help of Django. Whereas if I'll try to talk about a Flask, So Flask provides you each and everything, but again, it's a micro service framework. When we use our debugging, yes, Suyans. So this is what happens. Okay, so what is Flask good for? So Flask is good for creating APIs. What are the limitation of the Flask? So limitation wise, generally you will be able to perform each and everything. If you have to do some sort of a extensive development in terms of a server, so it's not advisable to use a Flask. But if you're just supposed to create the APIs and all those things, so in that case, you can try to use Flask very easily. Should we ever use Flask in production? Yeah, you can try to. See, many people say that we should not use Flask into a production, but it's not like a harm if you are going to use it, and if you are able to secure data, so it's not a harm to use a Flask into a production. But wherever you are expecting some sort of a scalable application, so in that case, it's better to use a Django, not to use a Flask. Can we develop an API in Django? Yes, that is the reason. So we are going to talk about this one, right? Let's create our own IDs. So own ID, you are saying you would like to create. How to edit number one value in debugging? So the way I was editing it, so just by using a plus operator, as of now, my debugger mode is not working. It is showing me some sort of a issue. It is not going to fall inside my debugger. It is executing it directly. I'll have to restart, and after restart, it will work. Okay. Now, so the application which I want you to perform is so this kind of application. So just try to utilize each and everything, create a full scale application, and then try to perform this kind of a operation. So here, what you have to do is, so you have to write a complete Python code. And I think we have already discussed a databases. We have already discussed a databases called as MongoDB, and we have discussed a databases called as SQL. We have discussed a databases called as Cassandra. So these are the three databases we have already discussed. And apart from that, so we have already discussed a basic of Python. And we are able to see all such kind of application inside a MongoDB, SQL, Cassandra. And again, so file automation system we have already built, so far, so forth. Now what you have to do is, so with the help of Flask API, so you have to build a complete system by which will be able to use all of these three. Now what kind of a system you are supposed to build over here? So what I want over here is that with the help of this API, so you have to create APIs, means a URL. So where, so if I have to send some data, or maybe if I have to upload some data to my databases, whether it's a MongoDB, whether it's a SQL, or whether it's a Cassandra. If I have to upload a data, so I will be able to upload a data through a API. This is something that I'm looking for. And API means what? Just that URL, right? And the signature of that particular URL. This is the only thing which I'm looking for. So if I will be able to get those things, so for sure, I will try to send a data, and then I will be able to add a data or update a data inside my, this one, inside my a MongoDB, SQL, or Cassandra. So API wise, you have to create a API for creation of the table. Point number one, creation of table. Second number, so insertion of table. Third number, so you have to create an API insertion into table, and then update into table. Then is this is the one or single insertion. Bulk insertion into table. Fifth number, so update, insert, and then delete from a table. Now for all this 5 operation, you have to create a API for a SQL, MongoDB, as well as for a Cassandra. So for sure in MongoDB, so it's not like we used to call these things as a table. So we try to create a document basically, right? So I think that idea is like fine with all of you. Like what is table inside a MongoDB or SQL or inside the Cassandra. So in all of these three databases, I'm looking for this entire CURD operation. So a single insertion, bulk insertion, update into a table, or maybe a delete into a table, creation of a table itself. So for each and everything, I'm expecting an API. So in total, I'm expecting 15 APIs from your side. So these are three things and a five tasks. So five tasks per data basis, right? Now, so if I have to download a complete data, right? Again, a sixth API for download data. So let's suppose if I have to download a data from your databases, right? So you have to create a API. I'll not call a code. I will not call, or I will not execute a code at all. So what I will do is, so I will just try to call your API, and with the help of that, so it is supposed to download a data, right? So maybe I'm looking for a 10 record, 100 record, 200 record, or maybe based on some parameter filtration. So maybe if I would like to download some record, so you have to create an API by which I will be able to download a data. So is this task okay for every one of you? This is again a basic task. This is not a tough task at all. Bulk means CSV. Yeah. So give me data into a CSV format or TXT format or any format, but yes, it should be like a multiple record, bulk record. Or maybe you can upload a data in a single format, or maybe in a like a multiple format. So actually if you want, right, so you will be able to do it maybe within half an hour, all of this operation, because you already have like a database code, MongoDB, Cassandra, and all those things. So it will not even take more than half an hour, those who have already completed those tasks. So for them it will just take half an hour, so it's not a very huge task ideally. But yes, those who have not done that particular task, for them, here is a task detail. So someone has pinged this particular task, right? They have taken a note of it. So yes, and someone has already pinged me, like Satya has already pinged me NG rocks. Okay, so yeah, that's great. So now even I will be able to access from your system to my system. That's amazing. Okay, so yes, there is something called as a ngrok, right? So maybe I'll be talking about ngrok if it is required. So in this way what will happen is, so you can try to host, or you can try to treat your system itself as a server, which I will be able to access directly. As of now, whatever will happen, it will happen in your local system, unless and until I'm not executing that code, like all of those things. So maybe I will not be able to perform those kind of operations, but there is a way by which you can try to make your server itself as a like a server, and you can try to like make your APIs as a global, and code data, everything will be available in your system, but from here, from a remote location, I will be able to access it, all those things. But as of now, let's try to do it in your local system, and that is again another additional step. So again, this is not very tough. We can do it. सर आपके लिए तो क्या ही टफ होगा. No, it's easy, right? See, creation of the table, right? So you all have written a function. I'll tell you the approach, those who are not able to understand. So you all have created a function, a Python function, and through a Python function you were trying to like create a table. Agree everyone? Yes. So you all have created a Python function. Through Python function you were doing an insertion operation, right? Now what I have to do, so maybe you can try to create a get or post API, right? So what I will do, I will try to write I'll try to call that particular function through get or post. Now, so at the time of table creation, whatever input, whatever parameter which I have to give, so let's suppose I'm trying to create a post request, so in a form of JSON, right? I can try to send all the table detail, means like a table name, table column, each and everything I can insert, right? So automatically it will try to create a table. So my table creation is done. Now if I have to do an insertion operation, so yes, and again, yes, whenever you are giving me an API, right? So always try to parameterize it. Don't hard code your username and password and URL, right? So that so anyone will be able to reutilize that particular code with any kind of a like a SQL system or MongoDB or Cassandra by changing the URL. So just try to parameterize it. So as a part of the request, right? So just try to create an API in such a way that as a part of the request, it is supposed to send the URL, is supposed to send a user ID and password, right? And rest of the parameter. So I'm not looking for any kind of a hard coded approach over there. Plus, So all the standard procedure you are supposed to implement, standard procedure wise, logging is must, exception handling is must, object oriented programming is must over here. So everything you are supposed to follow, and then you have to create this particular API. This task is really difficult. Actually, it's very easy when you have already, when you already know that how to do a data insertion in like a data into a table, or how to create a table, right, with the help of Python function. So on top of that, what we have to do, just append a URL, right? This is the only thing we have to do. So for all the different operations, so like you just have to create a API, right? And if you can give it to me tomorrow, you can try to publish it tomorrow, you can try to make it as a global by hosting this application over the cloud. And again, so through cloud itself we can try to communicate. So like in our cases, right, so we used to create a thousands and thousands of APIs, not just one or two, right? And that too just in a no time, because it's just a URL, right? What we are doing, just URL we are trying to like refer to, and with the help of that, so we are able to get each and everything. And in this way, your complete API concept will be closed. You will be able to understand what is API, how to create APIs, right? How to utilize all of those APIs in the real time to perform this kind of operation. Because see what happens is, so let's suppose if you'll go to, I don't know, website or any other website, Amazon, Flipkart, whatever website you will try to visit, over there when you try to click on some button, right, every time it is calling an API, every time. So whatever data, whatever product that you have selected, so you will try to click over there. It's not like it will load a data in one time. It will never load a data in one time, because unnecessarily it will try to make that particular page very heavy, right? And nowadays, whatever development you will be able to find out, so no one try to create this heavy weighted HTML page. They don't keep a data everywhere. Yes, there is a concept called as CDN they try to apply, and there are some other concept as well, but still they try to like keep this page as lightweighted as possible. So generally we try to create an API for all the DB operations. If we are trying to keep some data into a DB, so yes, for all the DB operations, so we try to create an API. So at every hit, like we have created a web page, right? So there is a calculate button. So when we try to click on calculate, it will submit the data to my program, and then it will execute the program. You have to do the same thing. And yes, those who knows UI, right? Those who is having some idea about a UI, so try to give me a particular UI for this application. Those who knows UI, again, UI is not important and UI is not necessary. It is just for those people who said yes, like I know a little bit of like HTML. So if you can do it, just do it through UI. So I don't want like any hardcode thing. I need everything to be executed on a click of button. So this is something you have to do it. In Cassandra, how to give an option for login. So generally we try to give our ID and keys, right? So if I'm talking about like a data stacks, yeah. So again, those who knows UI, again, the UI is not mandatory. I'm just expecting a Python API. That's it. Flask API, you can say. We can use Postman for this. Yes, you can try to use Postman for this. I don't have any issue. You can try to use a browser based as well. And even in that case, I don't have any issue. But yes, I think you need Postman when you will try to send a data, a bulk data, right? So it's better to use that. Hopefully this assignment is not for tomorrow. No, you have a time, so you can see. Even now you guys are sending me your SQL assignment, right? Your Cassandra, your MongoDB assignment. So yes, whenever I get time, I used to check that one, and I used to respond. So after like looking into your assignment, so and I think it's been more than 3 to 4 weeks. So I don't have any issue. I'll check your assignment anytime. So just feel free to submit it sooner or later. Maybe after some time you will see someone else solution and then you can submit it. I don't have any issue. What I want is just you have to do it. Simple. What is the fourth number point? Fourth number point is bulk insertion into a table. I've already pinged you like all the write-ups. Some your batchmates, some of your batchmates has already pinged me. So yeah, how to send a bulk data. So maybe you can try to give a path, system path. You can try to write a function. So function will try to read a CSV or TXT data, right? And I can try to give a path of that CSV as a parameter when I'll try to call the API. And in that path, it will try to pick the data and then it will try to call the function. Function will read the file by using that path, which I'm going to pass from the API, and then it will try to upload it. Can we use pandas? You can use anything. I don't have any issue. Any Python stack you can use. Can you please explain overall how to execute it? In creation table, we hit the API and table created, or we give a table structure and JSON and then hit the API. So no, what you have to do is, so the way we used to create a table, so we try to do like a create table name, and inside that we try to give like a column, right? So column A and then varchar, or maybe a column B, or like a integer. In this way, we try to create all of those column, all of those tables, right? Now from an API itself, I'll have to give a new table name. So from the API, like whenever you're trying to call the API, so as a part of the data, you are supposed to pass a table name, right? And then that table name you will pass in your Python code, because that table name will come over here as a key and value pair. Let's suppose if I'm going to pass a JSON data. So you are supposed to do in this way, right? So when I'm going to hit my, like, let's suppose this is a local host, colon 5000 slash create underscore table, right? So let's suppose this is the method I'm trying to call. This is the API I'm trying to call for create table. Now, so when I'm trying to call this, these things, so here maybe I can try to give what? I can try to give URL. So URL is nothing but your like a SQL URL. I can try to give maybe a username or ID over here, and then I can give like a password over here, and then I can try to give like a table name over here. Maybe I can try to give column 1, column 2, column 3, and its respective names. So these are the things which I'm supposed to pass from where? From the API side, so that even if I have to create one table or I have to create 100 table, right, I will be able to create it. As simple as that, right? So even if I have to create one table or 100 table, same API I will try to use, right? So going forward, there should not be any kind of a restriction, right? And you are supposed to write your Python code in that way. So Python code will do what? So Python code will try to like pick this values from here, and it will be able to create a table. So try to make it as parameterized as possible. So this is like my requirements. Simple. And this is the create table. Agree? Now if you have to like if someone is asking about like bulk insertion, so if I'm talking about a bulk insertion, so here URL, ID, password, right? And maybe you can try to pass a folder path where you have a file, or maybe some cloud location where you have a file, right? Now it will try to look like my Python code will try to get a data from there, and then it will try to parse it, and then it will try to dump it. Simple. And then it will try to give me some responses that your data upload is done. So this is something that I'm expecting into a bulk insertion, but everywhere I'm looking for a parameterized code. What about a data type of the column? So yeah, you can try to pass that as a parameter, right? So maybe you can try to pass a column name, right? And its data type. In this way, you can try to design your own like a JSON. So like what kind of a JSON you would like to pass. If you would like to pass a nested JSON, pass the nested JSON, right? So column 1 and then the column name, and inside that column ID, or maybe like a column data type. Even nested JSON we can try to pass, right? It's not like we can just try to pass a JSON file as a API. We can try to send anything. It just depends upon us what we are going to parse in our like a server side. While calling the server name in a PyCharm, we did not append the SUDH function with the function name. Where we have not appended? I think we have already appended these things, right? See, and at the time of calling, so when I was trying to call, or when I was trying to hit through a URL, so okay, I think like yeah. So yes, I was trying to call, right? So I was trying to call like a question mark and then SUDH function. So where I'm not using it, I'm using it. And why you are trying to ping unnecessarily again and again? So yeah. So is this task clear to everyone, guys? Will you be able to do it, or shall I make it a little bit easier? For downloading a data, which data it should download? So yes, for downloading a data, so you should, for sure, if I'm looking for some data, so you have to give databases name, you have to give like a table name. You can try to maybe give a parameter, this many number of records I'm expecting, right? and I'll try to pass that as a parameter. So always think on design level, right? That like how we can try to parameterize this so that it should work for one and it should work for other thousands as well, right? So that like I will be able to increase the reusability of my code. So you can try to parameterize, pass a table name, pass a database name, right? And it will try to check whether this table is available inside the database or not. If this table is available, then there is a data or not. If data is available, then if I have passed like, okay, fine, I'm looking for 5 data. So fine, show it to me, or maybe download it and keep it inside some location. Done. So this is about the download operation. It's an interesting task. Keep the same. Yeah, it is actually like an interesting task. 15 API means 15 different route, right? Yes, yeah. So now it's a 18 API. I have given you 6 tasks, right? So I'm expecting 18 API now. Can we use NTU data? Yeah, feel free to use any data. I don't have any issue with respect to data set. So I'm just expecting this functions, and this function should work in terms of a API. And you will be able to see that some of you are going to like show me your result by tomorrow itself, and try to use debugging concepts and all those concepts. It's actually easy. You will just see. It's actually easy, and it will clarify the whole concept. Good task to write as well in a later on. Yeah, I think so. Just while teaching you, right? So initially I was thinking of giving you a different task actually, and when I started teaching in today's class, then I got a thought. I got this idea that we can do this task as well. So while teaching, so I just gave it to you. Simple. आज की रात गई इसमें. Yeah, but it will be fun. So we can have 6 API and can have a DB types passes parameter. Even in that way, you can do it. Yes. So DB type as a parameter. So yeah, just 6 API, right? And you can try to like a pass, or else maybe like a sub route you can try to create. So just like a one single API and sub route, because what happens is, so let me share my screen again. So I have created just a route with label one hierarchy, right? But it is possible to create a route inside a route. So let's suppose you are creating. So what I will do over here, so I will try to create like a table underscore operation and slash. So inside that update, right? And again, so table underscore operations, inside that I can try to create a route for one for SQL, one for Mongo. So again, inside SQL update. So in this way, your like API will be looks generic. It's another different API for sure, but again, it will be like a readable path. So this is again a standard approach that we used to follow in general, right? Naming convention wise. Even in that case, like it's fine. Again, from the parameter side itself, you can handle it. So there are many ways. So it just depends upon you how optimized and in a beautiful way. So you are going to design this entire things. I'm not able to do file automation task in Tinkercad. There are many solutions which is available inside your dashboard. Please go ahead and look into that. Unless and until I'm not going to talk about Tinkercad. So Tinkercad, I'll be talking about it. What was the other task you thought of? So I was like thinking of like some other complete application actually, like some like complete application for like a complete web application kind of a things, right? But I think it's good. You can try to like do it. Yeah. Can you please explain overall that how to execute as I join? So, ma'am, you will have to go through the classes from the beginning. You will not be able to understand like immediately. So you can take your time, and then you can try to cover up those things. Come to the data outline session. I'll try to handle. Yeah, give that task tomorrow. Tomorrow maybe I'll having a different task because anyhow I'll end up like discussing Django, right? So yeah, let's try to take some questions, live questions. I think we should start Django tomorrow, and you can start working on your like task. So those who don't have any issues, so they can drop off. I think for today it's like enough amount of information we have shared. Yeah, Vinod, please go ahead. So I'll take some live question and then I'll conclude.
Hi, Sudhanshu.
Yeah, Vinod.
Sudhanshu, so when we were doing the debugging, right, and you were trying to allocate or override some values to number one and number two,
Mhm.
and you were passing string from the web page, right? So
Mhm.
actually, what I feel is what was happening is, so you were allocating the data to those number one and number two, and then when the actual code which was getting executed, which is take num1 is equal to int and then taking it from the web page. So then it is failing because whatever numbers you allocated, then after that it is trying to read from the web page again, right? So that's why it is going to the exception.
Ideally it is supposed to return a result. See, in the last line, so ideally it will try to update a value with the result pages. So it is like going to update my global variable result itself. So, and this is the result which I'm sending to my web pages, so it should
Uh-huh.
not do it, and it should show me the result. Because just if you remember, so just 5 minutes of that particular execution, I was able to get a result in the same way.
Okay.
So I was trying to do some addition operation. I was updating a result. So there is some issue with the IDE, and it is not, it happens with the PyCharm. Sometime it will get stuck or something. So it's not like it will try to give me just a result into console. It will show me result over, because I'm updating a global variable, right? Just think in that way. So if result I'm trying to send to my web pages, so there is no meaning that like logically there is no meaning that it will not update over there. And it was doing it. If you have observed, if you'll go to the recording of this video, this class
Uh-huh.
again, you will be able to find out that thing, right? So I was able to print
Okay.
that updated value, and based on the update which I'm doing over here in my like browser.
Oh, okay. Well, it is failing for me also, as it is failing for you. I'm not sure then why. So okay,
Yeah,
fine.
at
So
least see, at least what should happen is like you must be able to see a result in the console, right? Because result is one of the variable that you have. So
actually, y- yeah, if you go to line number 14, right, of this, yeah, go up.
yeah, line number
Yeah,
14.
yeah. So as soon as the code is reaching to line number 14, it is then going to the exception. So because we have given the num1 variable as a value of an integer, right, by providing override. But when it is going to line number 14, it is taking the data from the web page, right? So here it is failing.
No, no, that is fine. But again, we are going back to the cursor. So let's suppose if I'm going to put my cursor over here, so it will try to execute again from that particular place, and that is the reason. So it is able to show me the updates, right? Current updates.
Okay.
If you'll think in this way, so basically how debugger works. So basically debugger works on, doesn't depends upon the first execution. So inside a debugger itself, we can go back and forth, right? And it will again start from that particular place. So this is how debugger works. So that is like a fine. So I'm
Okay.
just going back and then executing it. So now it will start executing again from the 14 number line. Again, if there is a wrong data, it will fail and then it will come out. Now the problem is I'm not even getting into a debugging point. So I'll just have to restart the system and it will work for sure. It
Okay.
happens. It's
And there is there any option to skip any particular line when we are into debugger mode? I suppose I would don't.
Yeah, so like there is a step into, so for the particular like a steps you can try to get into this a step into my code. So it will try to look into a code of code, means request. So how request is written, so it will try to get into that particular one. If you will try to like this one, so force into fourth step into, so you can try to come to any other steps, or maybe you can try to go to the previous steps, and then this is the cursor point. You will be able to find out, or this one just for the resume program, and this option, so pause program. So yes, these options are available. So we can try to use this all these arrows to jump from any places to any places.
Right, that I got. But can we skip a line of code? I suppose I don't want to execute line number 14 and 15 at
Hmm.
all. So
Hmm.
is that possible that I don't execute line 14 and 15?
So you would like to like skip the line number 14 and 15. So no, disable breakpoint means it will not stop, but like it will go through that particular line. You can try to remove a breakpoint so it will not pass, because
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
logically, if I'll think about this situation, right? So let's suppose if I'm skipping some line, and let's suppose that line depends upon some other, based on that line, some other line maybe like depends. So a step over is an option which is skipping your line, but it is not actually skipping your line.
Yeah.
It is
Mm-hmm.
it is actually internally it is trying to execute your process,
Right.
right? So ideally when you have written the code, so it will always try to follow the code. You can try to remove the debugger. That is the only option. Skipping a line is not a logical option, right, for any of the code.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Yeah. In COBOL we have that option. So yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. Yeah.
So step over option is there, but again, a step over never skips a line. So it will
Mm-hmm.
just like a jump. Jump means it will not stop your code. It
Mm-hmm.
executes and then come to the next debugging point.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's first answer from my side.
Yeah.
Thank you.
In a web we have a go to statement. Yes, yeah. So again inside the ABAP, so same kind of a things happens. So I have like a experience of ABAP as well. So we used to like do a lot of debugging in case of ABAP. I have started my career with as a SAP programmer, right? So, and I have worked into SAP, so multiple different stack, take a stack, you can say. Okay, so yeah, Rajesh, go ahead. Deep, go ahead. Jinka, go ahead.
Yeah, Sudhanshu.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So I have a question related to the methods which you have defined. For example, this is a math operation, okay, and in a math operation we are passing two variables called num1 and num2, like we are accepting the num1 and num2.
Hmm.
So can we restrict this method to be pass two variables? For example, it's a kind of, you can say, the primitive type bindings or complex type bindings,
Mm-hmm.
that can we do that in here, like in like I do work on the web API. So for the to restrict the method to pass parameters, we define bindings like primitive type or complex type in a C sharp.
Mm-hmm.
If you talk about in ASP.NET MVC, on that part I'm talking about, like we pass the parameters called primitive type and complex type. Primitive types in the sense like we are passing the single variable. In a complex type, I mean to say, like we are passing a class as a parameter. So that
Yeah,
I
got it.
want.
Yeah. So even over here, so if I'll try to compare, so primitive type we already have, and I think we have a collection, right? So as a collection, and then we can try to apply like a length check of collection. So maybe based on that, we can try to handle that one in Python.
Okay, okay. So, okay, fine. Because, for example, if we have n number of parameters, okay, so we should not be passed a single variable.
Hmm.
Either it should be a dictionary, like we should be passed so that we can read and use in the function.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
I think
that's
this is what we are doing, right? So when we are trying to do this operation, so we are trying to pass only one JSON object from
yeah.
our postman. And here, so like we are trying to extract multiple values, like operation values, number one values, number two values. So yeah,
Mhm.
I think here also we are trying to do the same thing. And again, in other way, you can say JSON, we are trying to treat JSON as a dictionary.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again,
Okay.
dictionary is one of the class. So yeah, that is possible. We are, I think, doing it, and based on this, we can write a logic. So if we are trying to restrict these things to like a couple of number of the data, let's suppose I'm just expecting two, so maybe I can try to write one condition that if length is more than this one, so like I just try to throw these things inside the exception.
Okay, okay, fine. Okay, and one more thing I just wanted to know, like related to the task which you have given. So we haven't discussed the pandas yet. So do we require to use that, or
No, last time I think I have given you SQL task, I have given you MongoDB task, Cassandra task, and I never asked to use like like this one, right? Panda.
pandas? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and you were able to do it all those.
yeah, yes.
Yeah. So same operation, insert, update, delete. So here I'm just trying to add one new things on top of the same task.
Okay,
That's the reason I
okay.
said like most of you will be able to do it within half an hour or 1 hour, right?
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
just have to convert those things into API. This is the only thing which I'm looking for because method is already written somewhere, right?
Oh,
So
yeah,
I'm just expecting you to add the API.
yeah, exactly. Okay, thank you so much for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm asking you to reuse the same code
Okay, yeah, understood.
in an ideal way. Yeah.
Hello.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead, please.
Sir, actually, I joined this course 2 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Can you listen to this?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, man. I can hear
Yes,
you.
sir. Sir, I just joined the course 2 days ago. So I am trying my hard best to complete this course before the internship. So I just want to know that if I am able to complete the whole Python syllabus before the start of internship, so I
Mhm.
might be able to start the internship after some time.
Yeah, that is not an issue. So just feel free. So we are flexible. We are very flexible on those terms. So we don't like have a strict policy or something. So you can start.
Because I have already completed a course till March. Uh,
Mhm.
I'm trying my
Yeah.
best to complete the remaining course within 10 days.
Hmm.
And so just I want to confirm that if there will be any problem that if I start my internship late or not.
Yeah, yeah, you can start. I don't have an issue. So you can start.
Okay,
Yeah,
sir. Thank you.
yeah. Thanks.
Hi Sudhanshu.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Hi Sudhanshu.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead, go ahead. Yeah, please.
Thank you very much, Sudhanshu. In today's class, we used URL to call in the PyCharm code, right? In that PyCharm code, we did not append the route name with the function name. Could you please tell me why?
A route name with the function name. We have not appended it. So can you please tell me which function?
URL data there.
URL, which one? Okay, this data which I have written, or
Please come down. Yes.
So
In last Sunday's class, we used to append this route name with the function name. Last Sunday class.
this one, right?
Yes, via postman we appended this with the function name.
Which one? We
Here,
have
this one, yeah, right.
no.
Via postman with the function math operation underscore via underscore postman.
Okay, so yeah, so this is the function name, right? So it's the same operation we are doing over here. So this is the function name we are appending with this route.
No, route name URL function is not appended with the URL underscore data underscore URL underscore function. We did not append.
No, sir, we are appending it here, right? This is the function. This is the URL for this function. So I'm not able to understand, like.
No, sir. No, Sudhanshu. In the last Sunday class,
Mhm.
can you please go to the code? Can you please go to the code last Sunday code?
I think I have just like deleted it. So if you want, I can write it down again and I can show it to you. I don't have any issue.
No.
But just tell me, like, okay, so let's try to compare this function, right?
Yeah.
This is the kind of a code that we have discussed. Now tell me what is the difference between this code and this code.
Yeah. In the above code, we used the route name. We appended route name with the function name math underscore operation underscore via underscore postman. Via underscore postman is the route name, right?
It will work even in this way.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I'm going to write this one. It will also work.
Oh, okay.
This is not called as a append operation. I never taught in that way. I simply said that. So whatever function name, let's suppose this is my name and function I have written over here,
Okay.
right? So like it is, so whenever I'm going to call this particular route,
Okay.
right? So it is going to call this function just below to it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Sudhanshu.
So that is the reason. So now I think you are able to understand that, right?
Yes, I can understand.
So I can try to write this one again. Last time, this is what I have done. So I have created like a test 1, test 2, test 3, and
Okay.
I have just used these things into a generic way, right? So there was no relationship in between this name and this one. It's
Okay,
simple routing, means at this route, just below that, immediately, just below that in next line, whatever function that you have written, it will call automatically.
Okay, Sudhanshu. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Sir, my question is that for those of us who don't know much of front end, can we hit the API through Postman?
I think this is what I said, right? Like since last half an hour, I was talking about this.
Sir, actually, my net connection was, sir, in the middle, it broke down. So henceforth, sir.
Yeah, don't worry. Whenever I discuss something, so I discuss it completely, or I don't discuss. So if I have
and the second question is, sir, and second question is in bulk insertion, what are you trying to what are you trying to see from the assignment? Means can we limit the file type, sir, or we have to?
Yeah, you can try to use any. Like I'm just like looking for like a multiple record at a time upload. So maybe that record can be available into a file. You can try to parse a file, and then like a method will try to upload it, and you will be able to get response as a successful, something like that.
Oh, in bulk insertion, you are basically trying to see the parsing technique, right, sir? That is what you are trying to observe from the assignment, sir.
Through API, so you have to like call it.
API. And sir, in that in Mongo, that Mongo Atlas was there, was the cloud version of Mongo, and for Cassandra data stacks was there. Sir, what is the cloud version for SQL, sir?
Cloud version of SQL, you will have to like install.
Means what should I search so that, sir, I can?
No, you can search for like a EC2 and create a EC2 instances, and then inside that you can try to install your SQL server, and then from there you can call or AWS or Azure or like GCP, anywhere, or Heroku. So everyone provides you SQL. Even like if you know how to do a website development, so you will be able to see like this SQL server in any of this like server that we used to buy from GoDaddy or somewhere. So over there it will be installed. So that you can use SQL for SQL. So no one is going to provide you a free services like
like dedicated like Mongo Atlas. It is not present. Sir, for now we can go with local version also. No requirement is there, no, for cloud, because we'll not be able to deploy. So we'll just, so local version is good enough, no, sir, for now.
Yeah, for now it's good. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
So I have a doubt regarding the nested APIs that you have mentioned in the 50th code line. So how would be the nature of execution? Will it execute the outer API or the inner API first?
Yeah, see, execution wise, just a URL I'm creating, right? So URL wise, I can try to put like a hundreds of slash and any kind of a name. That will be a URL. Simple. So it's like a just for the naming conversion purpose and ease to use purpose, because generally what happens is we try to create a thousands of APIs, right? So we always try to like keep some sort of a nesting, some sort of a like a naming convention, so that it will be easier for trace, easier for track, and if some other person will come and do a development, so it will be easier for them to handle this kind of a situation. So just for that, because ultimately it's just a URL, right?
Yes,
If you
yes.
will understand this thing, it's just a URL, just a name, and name wise there is no restriction. You can try to give my name, your name, anything will work fine. You can try to give any kind of a slash. I'm not never said that no, just one level of slash will work. No, slash, then slash, then slash, then slash, right? So just try to think in terms of folder. So I can try to create a folder inside this one, right? So
So,
basically, see what
okay.
I'm trying to do. Like if you will try to understand API in a layman way, so there is a server, right? And first of all, I have to reach out to that server, and then inside that, so there is some subfolders I have, and I have to execute something inside that folder. Think in that way, right?
Yeah.
This is how I have explained you. So you have to reach out to that particular program. You have to reach out to that particular program, to that particular code. So I can create any kind of a URL. I can create any kind of a folder inside the folder.
So
Completely.
that means that we can have any number of APIs inside a database or something.
She's skipping your picture.
Yeah. So you can have
Okay.
a number of.
Sir,
Okay,
can I
sir.
go ahead?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Sarin, go ahead.
Sir, Arbaz here.
Yeah, Arvaj, go ahead.
Yes, sir. If that you can you share your screen like that code?
Yeah, sure. I can share my screen. This is my screen.
Okay. Here, below that @app, you said that when we call that app route, whatever written in that colon, like a single colon, that will be below that the method will be executed. And after that, you said that in the task we have to use classes and objects also. So if we specify class, like the class name, that will be executed after we call that route. Is it like that?
Try to figure it out. I think you should do it, right?
Okay.
If I can
Okay.
teach you how to call a function, so at least you can get to know like how to call a classes. It's very similar to this one.
Can I go ahead?
Just wait, let him finish. Yeah, Raj.
Can I go ahead,
And
Sudha?
like wait, I am speaking. Okay. So in below that, should we specify like the object also, like all, or the class and the object call both?
Object call basically. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Then the class will get executed after we call the file, and for that app route, just object will be created. That instance will be created.
That will be called. Yes.
Okay. Fine. Okay. Thank you.
Thing is what? So inside the classes there will be a function. I know how to call the classes through the object, and object like object dot and method name. So in this way I will be able to reach out to the particular method, right?
Okay. Okay, sir. Okay.
Hi, Sudhanshu. Actually,
Rohit
can you
this side,
please
sir.
tell how to download that dataset in the challenge which you gave?
So I think I have given you a link, Vishal, right? I have given you a link, right? No?
I haven't received.
Yes, you have given it for the previous task.
Yeah. So like
Yeah.
when I was talking about it, right? So I have already given. So without giving a link, how I can like give a task? Yes, Vishal.
Actually, Sudhanshu, previous class only recording I was able to access, and because on Sunday I have office, so
Okay.
today when you gave the challenge, so I was in confusion, like the last option of download.
Can you
So
please yeah, so I think this is the mail from your side, Vishal, right? Not satisfied with the support team. After I have seen your mail, so I have just called my support team, and I think you have received a call. So what is the issue, by the way?
sir, actually, sir, they were actually I have also realized that I told them that I was sorry for that reply.
Not an issue. I know about the whole story, so no need to discuss here, right? So, but I think your issue is resolved, right? I just saw your name, and then you were saying to, I wanted to know from your side that Is it resolved now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And now also I'm saying that yeah, I realized that
That is fine. That is fine. So leave it, leave it. That is fine. Yeah, that happens. Yeah. So you are talking about this one, right? Just you can drop me a mail anytime, and I check all the mails. So if you have any issues, so I'll try to resolve. I think you have received a call immediately, right? So
yes, sir.
just like pointed out to them, and the call back, they told me that no, there is no issue. I think Vishal has confirmed. So then I said, okay, fine. So that's great. Okay, because it's my responsibility to handle your concerns. MySQL, this. So SQL basic, data challenge, generic ED. MySQL automation task by student. Yeah. So see, if you will go over there, MySQL is like an automation task. Here, many people have submitted their solution. Let's suppose if I'm going inside this Soham's, okay, some Snehal solution, let's suppose, right? So inside this, if you will try to unzip, sorry, in so many solutions I have like uploaded, so everyone have included that particular URL, right? So you will be able to find out URL even from here. And when I was talking about the task, even at that point of a time, I have given a task, and even you will be able to find out my task URL, so in that particular like class notes. So I think I have uploaded, if I'm not wrong, maybe people
Sir,
can.
actually, I think you have misunderstood my question.
Hmm.
I am saying that today the challenge you gave, na, the sixth point of that challenge was that we have to download the dataset in CSV form.
Okay.
So you said that we have to generate API for that.
Yeah, we have to create API for
Yes.
everything, all
Yes.
the
So
things.
actually, that sixth point is little bit hazy in my mind. So can you please put some light on that? I'm.
Yeah, so there is a table, let's suppose, right,
Hmm,
available inside your databases. So
okay.
this table name is, let's suppose, TAB1, and this is available inside our database one. This is the hierarchy. Now, so you have to create, generally what you do. So you try to do like a select star from db1 dot table 1. This is what you do and what this operation does. So can I say that this operation is going to bring a data?
Yeah. This is the read operation.
This is just a read operation, right? So
Yes.
download a data. So now you have to like store this data, whatever data that you are able to get, maybe into a .csv file or maybe into a .txt file, whatever you want. So in this way, I'm saying download a data.
Okay.
Now
So
for
it is just a writing operation into a file like we did in our previous
yes,
tasks.
yes, yes, yeah. So I've
Okay.
just added like all the operations, we have already done that. So it's not like I have given you some new operations over here. The only new things which I'm asking you to do is like create a API on top of everything.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Sudhanshu. And again, I'm sorry for that.
No, that is like it happens, right? Discussion must happen. So I think we should do open discussions on that part.
Hi,
Always.
Rohit here, Sudhanshu. Can I
And
go ahead?
Yeah, yeah, sure. Please go
uh,
ahead.
Yeah, Vishal, are you
yeah,
done or you have some?
just one more thing, Sudhanshu. That second application which I was talking, Excel. So that is also completed. So
Which one? Which one? Which one?
for Excel automation in GUI form. So that
Mm-hmm.
is also completed.
Okay, send it to me. I'll check. Yeah,
Yeah.
I check all those things.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Hi, Sudhanshu.
yeah.
Sudhanshu, I have a question regarding the WSGI that you were talking about.
Mm.
And you also said that APIs are also used to interact between two different languages. I mean, let's suppose one is written in C and one is written in Python.
Mm-hmm.
And I had read somewhere that NumPy is also written in C, I guess, if I'm
So
not wrong.
actually, I'll tell you the history of NumPy. So actually, there was a mathematical package which was available into MATLAB, and complete MATLAB has been designed into C, right? So NumPy was not originally derived from a Python. So it was not originally a Python package. It was designed for a MATLAB. In a later stage, when Python open source community was growing, so they have converted this entire MATLAB mathematical package into a another package, and they have named these things as a numerical Python, short form NumPy.
Okay,
That is
okay. I wanted to know how actually this one code is, let's say when we import NumPy module or any module,
hmm.
so that or install it first. So that code is, I mean, installed or downloaded into our some path in our system, right? And then we import it. So, so when we import something that is written in C, so will it import that C language and then some WSGI will? So it was a bit confusing. Like,
not at all. So it's like a wrapper we used to build, right? So wrapper we used to build, and then it is a responsibility of the wrapper which will try to convert one APIs into other API. This is what happens, the thing that you are talking about, right? But here, so we are talking about API in another sense. API means a routing. Here we are talking about, right?
Yes,
So let's
yes.
suppose you have like a written the code for database insertion operation, update operation, download operation, right?
Yes.
Now use the same API, the API that you are using in Postman for testing purpose, right?
Yes.
So if you know some other languages, and it's my instruction to all the people, not just you, right? So if you know some other language, let's suppose, right? So try to perform this operation from that language. And see, your database insertion, update operation, all those things are written in Python, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Keep it up, like just try to execute it and update your server, and then try the URL that you are trying to hit from a Postman or maybe from a browser. So you can try to hit it from your other languages. It will work.
But in Postman we only use JSON or in body we can even write any other language.
Yeah, text. No, it's not a language. JSON is not a language. It's a file format, right?
Yeah.
It's a file format. It's not a language at all. So don't go after the name JavaScript object notation. So it's a file format actually. Just like a CSS.
Hi, Sudhanshu.
No, just let him finish.
Yeah. No, I'm done. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, sorry. This is Manoranjan. Actually, I joined the class today. I just trying to let you know my background. So I have around 12 years experience.
Yeah, I've seen your message, sir. I remember. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just want to know because I have a little knowledge on coding. So because initial phase I worked on PLSQL developer for 1 year around. Yeah, the question is really not relevant to this topic. So I just want to tell you. But how can I prepare myself so that I can I can change my career to data science?
As of now, just a simple instruction. So just try to start from the first, and then come down to this particular place where we are. It will take a couple of weeks for sure for you. Maybe 2 to 3 weeks. You can take a time, right? And then I think we can discuss about this particular things. It will be a very fruitful discussion in that way, because
I understand, because I have around 12 years experience. So in that, how much the expectation will be and how whether I can meet to that expectation of the market.
So you will be able to understand. Don't worry. So we have discussed many things in between itself. So please try to cover this particular part. And again, we have a doubt clearing session as well. So where we can discuss all this topics about your resume profile, everything. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, Sudhanshu.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Myself, Kavin.
Yeah.
Sir, actually, I joined 1 week back ago. So what my question is, sir, this this internship program has been started from February. So now I joined.
No, it has not started yet for this particular batch.
Okay.
Who told you it has started? So
sir, but from February 28th, it has been.
Internship for the previous batch has started. So not for this particular batch.
Sir, so then when will be it? It will be start from
after completion of Python module in live classes. It is going to start. I think I have already stated these things very clearly in my many classes, starting from the very first introduction class. If you'll watch, so it has not started yet.
Sir, for that, okay, sir. For that, I'm watching this fast track classes. So it will be helpful for, or else I need to go for this.
First of all, you can complete your live class recording itself, right? So instead of watching, so first of all, reach out to this particular label where we are, and then you can try to go ahead with the fast track, right? Because we ourselves has discussed many things in our classes itself.
And one more question is,
no, I'll not teach any new topic, guys. So those who would like to drop off, so they can drop off. Those who have to discuss, so they can stay. I'll discuss and then close. Yeah.
Sir,
Simon. Yeah, go
sir,
ahead.
One more question is, sir. Sir, actually, you have mentioned there in your this criteria, eligibility criteria. So the student should not be having more than 2 years of career gap. So it has been calculating from since in between of the education or else the completion.
We should discuss about these things in this is the off-topic discussion, right? So I think we should not discuss these things over here.
Okay, sir. Okay.
We can discuss about these things, and again, I think my team has already clarified all those things, right? At the time of enrollment, and we have already mentioned these things in a very like a clear word. But still, if you have a doubt, so you can connect with the team, or else let's join a doubt clearing session. In doubt clearing, so we'll try to clarify. Yeah.
Sudhanshu, can I go ahead?
Yeah, Shirin, go ahead.
So I have pinged my code on the chat box regarding the smallest element in this.
Shirin, you are not audible at all. Your voice is like lagging a lot in between.
Okay, can you hear me?
No, Shirin, still like you are not audible.
Okay, maybe next time.
Hello, Sudhanshu, can I go ahead?
Yeah, sure, ma'am. Go ahead, please.
Hello,
Yes,
Sudhanshu.
ma'am. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, so you told that we can use Swagger API as well. So do I need to change anything in the code to make it work in the Swagger API?
Yes, ma'am. A little bit of changes is required, not much, but still, why you are like running out of Swagger API? So I think Flask and Django is like a best one, right? There are so many frameworks. So if you will like run after like those many things, but I generally don't suggest, because based on that we don't like see there are many tools which is like coming into a market, but it's not like a tool will come and we will start using it. To adopt those things into industry, we look for many things, and then we adopt into some projects. It's not like even if tool is very good and it's a beautiful one, so unless and until we don't evaluate, so we never like adopt these things. So I think we always try to follow the standard approach.
Okay. And one more question is there. In one route, do I need to just use one method, or we can use multiple method?
No, in one route, one method, one unique route.
Okay.
Parallel better. You can call method inside the method if you want. So if there is some like a recursive call, if you have to do, so you can do it.
So we can use a class, and inside the class we can use multiple methods in that.
No, ma'am. I think you have to search for that.
Okay. All right.
Yes, Sudhanshu, Gaurav here.
Yeah, Gaurav, go ahead.
Sudhanshu, if we have multiple classes under one of the Python project, right, and we have defined different app routes, okay, and we usually define app.run in one of the files, right, in one of the pipe files. If we have multiple pipe files, will it take all the routes given in the application?
No, see, server wise it will be able to take only one, and that main function should call others.
Okay, that main function itself should call other classes, objects, and include that.
It's always like consider one server at a time. So it's not like a threading. So in a single process, you can launch a multiple threads, and then it will like do auto scheduling of the thread. So it doesn't work in that way actually.
And secondly, one thing I saw that we are the app routes we are defining, right? It does not have the container / that app route. It generally have that particularly server port number, and then the app route is appended to it. Right? Generally, when we are deploying the things in Java, right, it has a container followed by the
Java follows a different like architecture. Here we are following Python. We are following the different architecture, different framework. So for sure there will be a differences, right?
Okay. And secondly, one thing, right? So I had in the 2 weeks back in the previous doubt sessions, I have submitted my queries. Okay, but I haven't received any response. I followed up with the support team as well, but I haven't received any
Gaurav,
update on that. Yes.
What is your mail ID? Let me see.
Gaurav28@gmail.
GAU, yes, I can see that. Okay, this one, and I think
Sir, thank you. I have received the code. After that, I haven't received any reply on that.
This one was assigned to someone in my team. Attach this notebook. Okay. It was assigned to whom? Okay, I'll have to check. So still you are stuck in this one, or you are like out of this?
I'm moving ahead, but I've kept this aside. Okay, but I've been following up to receive any responses on that, but I haven't received any response. And secondly, one more thing, I have submitted this assignments. Okay, for around 3 weeks back. Is there any? They said there was no updates on that
assignment. So I don't know why people like behave in this way, because it will be checked, right? That's fine. So team many assignments are there, so they try to evaluate it one by one, then they will give you a mark. So it's fine if you have submitted it, you will get a marks. You're not supposed to like I think
no how much time did it take? That is the general perception.
Generally it takes 2 to 3 weeks. Sometimes it takes more as well, sometimes it takes less.
Yeah, that is the only question.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, Sudhanshu.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you hear me, Sudhanshu?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, this is this. My question will be not related to today's session. So, we were having this discussion, and you just told me that maybe you can help me today for the resume
Sorry?
regarding the previous experience.
It was you who has pinged me over the Skype, right?
Right.
Ma'am, I have already given you some instruction. Please try to apply those instructions and then only I'll
Try
check.
to apply
Otherwise,
those.
I'll end up wasting my time and your time. So have you applied this instruction?
Yeah, yeah.
This is the
And
instruction
you
which I have
said
given to you.
yes, yes, yes.
So have you
And
resent me your resume again?
no, so you said that you will be letting me know that because my previous experience is with this accounting background, and how I will be using that.
Ma'am, I said that there is a separate BA session which is going to happen in today's evening. This is what I said, and I even told you that rectify these things. And this is the huge chat which we have done. Right. According to that, you have to update your resume, send it back to me again so that we can review it, and then we will give it back to you. So where is a confusion? I'm not able to understand that particular part. I said that there is a session of a BA which is in which I'm going to talk about like what we have to write in terms of like a data analytics, and that session is going to happen at 8 p.m. IST.
Oh,
This
okay,
is the
okay,
discussion I
yeah,
think that we had.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's not like now. So it will be some other time.
No, it's like going to happen at 8 p.m. IST. It's a separate session for BA. You were talking about everything in context of a business analytics things, right? Not in terms of a data
Yes,
science. So this is what
right.
I told you that today there is a session and this is going to happen at 8 p.m. IST. And I was wondering that you are already a part of that. But now I got to know you are here, like in this particular batch.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
ma'am, work on
So
your resume, send it to me because I was checking your resume. There is nothing in your resume actually, right? Even person will not even like to read your resume. This is the way you have created resume. So I have sent you the format. I have highlighted all the issues. If you can like send it back to me, for sure I can review.
okay, all right. Yeah,
Thank you, ma'am.
that's my bad. Sorry.
No issue, ma'am. It's fine.
Thanks. Mhm.
Yeah,
Hi, Sudhanshu. Shubh this side.
yeah, sure. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, actually, I just joined day before yesterday. This in this full stack course. So I guess too many classes have been finished. So I've started looking all the syllabus and all means whatever you have covered. So it's taking some time because I'm not a I know basic of Python, but I'm not an expert. So since you are telling that within 2 weeks, I guess that internship will start. So I guess there will be issue when you assign some tasks to me because I have to finish all the
No, it's not like that. I think 3 weeks is more than enough. I think you will be able to cover.
Okay, so after 3 weeks, it will start. I started around till list manipulations and all. I've covered this in 2 days. So all those
Yeah,
things.
don't worry. I don't see like there will be an issue. Yeah. Don't
Okay.
worry.
Oh, one more query regarding that pandas I'm facing. Actually, suppose I have around 6 lakh rows. In 6 lakh rows, so wherever there is blank, I have replaced it with no data or NA. After that, if I do a pivot table, it takes too much time. But if it's blank, it takes means within 2 to 3 seconds it gives me. Or suppose a column is there with date, next is value, and index is something ABC. So if I do it pivot table using that with blanks only, it does in 2 3 seconds. But if I insert blank with NA data, it takes around 10 15 minutes, I guess.
Okay, so maybe you are trying to do a combined operation somehow, or else just try to like replace this in data insertion and then try to replace these things with a new variable and then try this out. Or the best option which I can give you is don't use pandas, use DASK. It's a same equivalent to pandas, but the kind of threading that they have handled inside a framework is way better and faster than your pandas library. So pandas actually it's a slow one. And again, if you have to convert your code into a DAS, so it's just like a pandas, like code wise, API wise, so all the methods and all those functions are exactly same as pandas, but it's way faster. as compared to pandas. So
okay, so all the pandas functionality actually 60% of the work I'm doing in pandas only. So Dusky will be better alternative, I guess.
Task is always a better in terms of like a heavy data load when you're trying to handle.
Yeah, actually my current profile I am dealing with means 7-8 lakhs of rows on a daily basis.
And
but I'm using
even
pandas.
Dask is going to fail after some certain point, right? So even Dask is not going to support you. So in that case, so what you can do is, so you can try to move to the Spark RDD and Spark data frame. Even in a Spark, so there is a data frame option, and a Spark data frame is like a very optimized one, because in a backend, when you try to call their RDDs, means data frame calls RDDs, there is something called as RDD into a Spark resilient distributed data set, and that calls a Cataline optimizer, and Cataline optimizer is a part of the project called as Tungsten project. So which project was developed and designed in this world just for the optimization. So Spark always gives you a best possible optimization as compared to Dask, and Dask is better as compared to Pandas. This is like a hierarchy you can follow.
Okay, one more thing I saw, actually you have started launch that big data classes also. So will our batch be having that part will be covered? Because
yeah, Spark part, and whatever topics which I have mentioned, so that will be covered for sure, but not a complete big data, because it's a very huge syllabus, right?
so
But I think
community session, not community, actually that 3,500 approx you have started new. So that will be complete different one, more
not
in depth.
no, that will be like a complete big data, I will say, just like dedicated towards a data engineering, and I will say like a cloud component, just like we used to give like a ML, right? So ML and like a DL part, so in the similar way.
Okay, and last question is, actually recently I just today evening only I got a call regarding Deloitte business data analyst position. So they need a SQL and Python both. So Python, okay, still pandas and all they would be using, I know it, but SQL I'm too miniature in that means learning process right now. So can you just help me with, suppose with 5-6 days, so what should be my learning, if it's possible to learn something for that interview purpose? Any guidance?
Okay, so one thing, guys, everyone. So today I am like a conducting one, I would say, like a workshop today and tomorrow, starting from 8 p.m. IST to I can say like 8 p.m. IST to maybe 12 or 11, I don't know, right, for how long it will go. I think I have already pinged you, so you will be able to see a link for joining this session, right? So those who wants to join, so you can join it. Again, I'll tell you what is the agenda of this discussion. So agenda of this discussion is for a BA role, how and what and how you should talk about your projects, and how you should talk about your create your resume, just for the BA role, business analytics role, right? So I'm just talking about everything, every kind of a stack, every kind of like a discussions I'm going to do from the interview perspective, right? So today and tomorrow both. So if you have like a time, so you can join this particular session. You can save a link. I have already pinged you a link inside your chat after this session. So link will be gone. So better to save it, right? So link and passcode. So at 8 p.m. IST today and tomorrow. So same link you can join. So the same link will be active even for tomorrow's session. And I think those who are looking for an immediate transition into a BA, so I think you will be able to get all the idea. And I have mentioned a couple of points as well, that what I'm going to discuss, what will be the agenda of today's discussion. And yes, you all will be able to like uh, get a very good idea, right? So from where, what SQL, W, Power BI, dashboarding, again, like what BA does, everything. So hope this will solve your issue. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes, please try to join today's session.
Sure, sir.
Yeah. So it's like a community session. Actually, you are not taking MLDL 8 p.m. batch. No, Chris will take that. MLDL your 8 p.m. Chris will take. I'll take this one. Will workshop recording will be available in our dashboard? No, not at all. It's a community session. It will be available for everyone. So after some time, we'll make it public over the YouTube. Everything we are not supposed to upload in your dashboard, right? Anyhow, so many things we have uploaded. So it will be uploaded over the YouTube. You can access it. Means I'm saying that you will be able to access. Simple.
Hi, Sudhanshu.
Yeah, go ahead. Next one.
Can I go ahead, Sudhanshu?
Yeah, go ahead. Yes.
Yeah. So I have doubt not recording to today's class. I have doubt recording to ML algorithm. So can I share my screen and just show you? Actually,
What is your doubt, by the way, which you're not able to clarify in your
so I am, yeah, I'm solving a classification problem. So in that, like, I want to increase my ROC AUC score. So so that's what. So if you want, I can just share my screen to show you. I have actually also emailed just before the class.
Maybe I'll see and I'll respond back to mail. Maybe I'll assign this to someone. Yeah.
Okay.
Nilesh as well, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Meaning, yeah, I have, I can give a just a gist. Like I have done some.
It's better to discuss these things in doubt clearing or over the mail because
The
if we'll
yes,
start taking all the topics, so
yes,
everyone will start
yes.
asking other topics.
Actually, you are correct, but the problem was that
With everyone relays,
it.
right?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
The
don't have
problem
like
actually was
an
I
issue.
have only 24 hours, so that's why I do not want to discuss in this day's class. But it's okay.
That's fine. Yeah. So we'll go then.
Hello, sir.
Yes. Yeah. Please go ahead.
Sir, I have a doubt in today's class.
Mhm.
Like in the today's challenge we have to do. Like say I can do the creation, updation, deletion of the table using any of the database you taught us. Just doing the API. Like we have to do all that task within the functions of the API, like below the app root and inside the function.
Yes.
So, sir, like for creating the table, like we can do this, like create table, and we can pass the parameter to the API, and we can send the choice to what will the column, what will the integer type from the API itself. Like we have
Yeah.
to do
In a
that type
JSON
only.
format, in a text format, in any format, so you can try to send it, and then you can parse it inside in your Python side. Means server side parsing you can do.
Okay, from the like from the postman or from the browser side, user will send the data like table name and column name, and from the backend table will be created.
Yeah, automatically table
Yeah,
will be
like
created in a backend. Yes.
this we have to do, and these API we have to create for 6 individual.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. For all the tasks that I have given.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. But for the different database, how to do for different databases? Like
Similarly, right? So I think we know how to insert, update, delete
yeah,
things into
yeah,
as well as
yeah,
custom.
yes, sir.
It's same for everything, right?
Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
okay, no problem.
Hi, Sudhanshu, just one question.
Yeah.
Sudhanshu, yeah, regarding the assignments, right? So, advanced programming assignments carry more marks when compared to basic programming assignment, right? So, but I have been allocated 20 marks for the advanced programming assignments also. And when I checked with the support team, they are saying that by mistake they initially mentioned it as 20 and 30 marks as the maximum marks, but now they all carry 20 marks as the maximum marks. So I don't know whether
Yeah, so it's like their mistake, or maybe they used to update the assignments and they used to check. In not a support team exactly. Like there is another team who used to do it, and support team used to take update from that team, and then they used to propagate all the information. So maybe they are the best person who can answer this question. Otherwise, I'll have to look into that. If you can send me a mail regarding this issue, I can forward it and ask for the clarification.
Sure, I'll send an email to you.
Yeah. So I'll just forward to them, and then I'll ask them, okay, fine. So give me a clarification. They can check and they can update me, and I'll keep you in loop, same loop.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Sure. Thank you.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, Ajit. Yeah.
I just have one minor doubt, sir. Once you create 18 routes,
Mhm.
like for a different, you create 18 different APIs, and if you want to deploy this in any cloud environment,
No,
then
as
you
of
get
now,
one.
it's not required. Going forward, I'll tell you how to do it and how to deploy these things in a cloud environment.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
As of now, just do it in local, right? We'll see how to deploy. It's very easy actually, like one step at a time.
Okay. No, my question is, if you deploy in Heroku Cloud, like you get one you get one URL, but how do you, in that URL, how do you call like different routes?
That is the URL of the system that you used to get, right?
Yes.
So inside that, so means I'm able to reach out that system, like my local
Yes.
port number, just like that. So it will be able to give you inside that. I can try to call it, right?
Okay. Got it. Thanks.
So there is a way for everything. Don't worry. Okay. Any other question, guys?
Hi, sir. Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
go ahead.
Yeah, I joined today's class little late, so I just wanted to know, for this current assignment, today's assignment, do we need to use class and object or just the function like
Yes,
during
ma'am.
the
It's better to use
run?
class and object. So I'll feel more
Okay,
happy. So if you are using like a classes and objects,
okay,
yeah.
thank you.
Okay.
And one more question, like not regarding assignment, but like personal. Since my background is little different, I have a PhD and I'm
Ma'am, I think
working
we can
as a
discuss about these things in a doubt.
researcher.
Yes, ma'am. So we can discuss about these things in a doubt clean session. We have a separate session for this kind of a discussion. I think we can restrict
Yeah,
this.
just wanted to know, like I have a
Ma'am, I think
problem
I'm
with
giving answers.
CP
Yeah, no, no, no.
not.
Just wait. Yeah. So I think I used to give answer, but the thing is, trend, right? It's all about habit. So I think we should change habit a little bit and maintain a decorum of the class. Please try to join 8 p.m. classes and whatever question you have. So for sure, I will love to answer. I don't have an issue with answering questions, but doubt clearing is a place for that. Support team is a place for that. Your mail is a place for that. Many options we have given you, not just one. So it's not like you just have one option where you can ask a question. But in classes, I will be expecting just a question with respect to a current class. That will be better. So that we can't waste our time for others, right? Because others will not like it if we are going like doing some sort of off-topic discussion. Hope you will agree, guys. Right, everyone? Yeah. So if everyone will start talking about all the different topics, we have like a channel for that. So fine, guys. With that, who is going to take 8 p.m. session? Yeah, it will be me. So this 8 p.m. BA session, right? Which I was talking about. So it's me who is going to take that one. So just try to join that session. If you will not be able to join, I don't think that there will be an issue because anyhow I'll upload a recordings. I'll make this recordings public. Means it will be available over a YouTube. It won't be uploaded. It's not dedicated for your batch or some other batches. It is a generic like a session which I have scheduled for my BA batches, right? Business analytics, dedicated business analytics batches. But I thought of inviting every one of you if you are available because for sure it will be fruitful and you will be able to get a very good insights. And this is completely focused towards interview discussion and everything. I'll try to discuss everything in bits and pieces. You will get a very good clarity as well that what BA actually does, how to prepare a resume, how to talk about the projects, and then what and all things, do's, don'ts, many things. So you will get to know about it. Yes. So any plan for upcoming community session in future? Yeah, we have a plan. This is one of the community session you can think, right? So where we are conducting a session and then we'll make it public, at least for now. So with that, guys, thank you so much. These type of a session for data science as well. For data science, I think we have released a complete syllabus itself, 30 days of data science interview preparation. Go and check. It's very good. Personally, I have prepared these things. Anyhow, whatever syllabus that I have published, so it's personally I used to publish those things. So it's fine. So fine, guys. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow agenda will be Django. I'll be talking about Django, how Django is different from Flask, and then what and all things like we can do inside a Django, and many more stuff which will come in between, right? And again, I'll give you a task, couple of tasks tomorrow. So be ready, but I'm expecting some sort of a solution by tomorrow because I know there are so many talented people is available, and I'm expecting that they will be able to create it, or they must have created it just by now. So you don't know. So yeah, see you tomorrow with your solution, and do send me your solution if you're able to prepare it. After the class, we'll have a discussion on that. Yes, so that even others will get to know about it. So with that, thank you so much. Take care, everyone.